You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowed like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better. Put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the 5th part of What If Naruto Enters Mega Man? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. The next morning, everyone was awake and excited to head over to Net City as Naruto, Alice and Shirory used the link to transfer themselves to the gateway where they had to be scanned and enter their details before being granted permission to fully access the gateway from then onwards. The moment the group had stepped through the gateway to the other side, they were nearly stunned speechless by the scenery before them. Whoa, Naruto's mouth hung open, not knowing what else to say. Wow, this is amazing, said Alice and Shirory simultaneously. An actual city in the internet, just for all NetNavis, said Sakura, watching through the monitor, feeling the same way as the others. Like Sakura said, the group were standing on a balcony which gave them a wide view of a highly advanced cybernetic city. One could go as far as to say that this is a counterpart of a city in the real world. They were snapped out of their thoughts upon being given map data of the city to encourage them to explore, which they didn't even hesitate to do so immediately. There were even warp points all over the place to quickly transfer them to key points of the city, using one of them to get to the city square where the group saw numerous NetNavis bustling about, doing various activities and carrying out tasks for their NETOPs. Man, this place is seriously off the chain, said Naruto, looking around in awe. I wonder if there's a library here too, Shirory wondered. I'm sure there is, we could look for it on the map that we have, said Alice. Maybe so, but be sure not to go alone, Sakura cautioned. Whoa there, is it you Maelstrom-kun? A voice called out, making everyone turn to see that it was Tamamo, whose tail began wagging happily. It's really you. Hi Tamamo-chan, long time no wo. Naruto had to cut his greeting short as he had to catch the fox girl when she glomped him. Take it easy, you almost knocked me over. Sorry, it's just that I'm so happy to see you again. Like I thought, fate is bringing us together, said Tamamo joyfully. I guess, so what have you been up to since we last met? Asked Naruto curiously. I've been going through strenuous bridal training for a happy marriage life. I wish to fill my future husband's life with nothing but joy. The female kitsune glanced at Naruto with cheeks tinged pink. The blonde cyber ninja rubbed the back of his neck, feeling awkward. That's cool, I wish you luck with it. Tamamo's tail wagged happily at the words of encouragement. Thank you, where will you be going now? To check out more of this place, I'm sure we'll run into each other again, said Naruto, having his arms pulled away by the pouting twins. See ya, Tamamo-chan. Tamamo sighed as she watched him leave. Sigh, there's something about him that makes me want to wrap him around my arms and cuddle with him for hours on end. Big brother, we were supposed to be exploring the place, not be distracted, said Shirory with puffed up cheeks. She's right, you know, said Sakura, looking a bit displeased for some reason. Naruto bowed his head slightly in apology. Sorry about that, now let's continue with our exploring. The group resumed their roaming of the city, coming across interesting places and learning of them. There's the international net bank meant for e-money transaction on a global scale. Dr. Hikari was nice enough to set up bank accounts for them when he was setting up their admission into school. There are the cyber malls where they could order for anything and have them delivered in the real world. There's even a virtual arcade for NetNavis to play and have fun. It shouldn't surprise me that Higsby would open up a shop here, said Naruto, standing in front of said shop with the twins next to him. From what I can tell from meeting him a few times, he likes collecting battle chips than he likes selling them, said Sakura thoughtfully. Remind me to keep my jutsu battle chips far away from him lest he tries to swipe any of them from me, said Naruto with a sweat drop. Let's go inside and see what he has, said Alice, pulling him inside. Naruto shrugged in response as they went inside. Well, I'll be needing more battle chips along the way. They walked up to Numberman, Higsby's personal NetNavi and apparently the online shopkeeper of the place. A holoscreen appeared next to Numberman to display Higsby, who smiled upon seeing them. Hey there, I see you're doing well. Are you here to purchase battle chips or simply browsing around? Asked Higsby politely. We're just looking around for now, but we'll come back later to purchase some, said Naruto. Okay then, but keep in mind that the use of battle chips in Net City are banned and will only be allowed in designated arenas like the newly installed Coliseum, Higsby explained. There's a Coliseum here? Asked Alice. Indeed, there's even going to be an exhibition match to introduce the additional rules of net battling as well as introduce the Coliseum to everyone. Megaman and Roll are already on their way there, so I suggest you hurry on over there too. Naruto smiled in excitement. Consider us already there, Higsby-san. I'll be sure to save you guys some seats too. Thanks very much, Higsby-san, said Sakura politely. Naruto and Ko left the chip shop and used one of the warp points nearby to get to the Coliseum. They made their way over to the seats which Higsby had reserved for them and found Megaman and Roll there as well. Hey guys! Naruto called out, gaining their attention. Hey, guess you guys were also having your own tour too, huh, said Megaman. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Yeah, Net City is getting more interesting by the minute. It shouldn't be a surprise that you'd be here as well, a voice spoke up. Naruto turned around and recognized the person. Archer, it's been a while. A holoscreen appeared next to Archer to display Kuro, who smiled upon seeing Naruto. Long time no see, Maelstrom. How have you and Naruto been since we last met? Pretty good, been busy for some time till now with school and all that, said Naruto. Guess I'm not the only one then. My Onaikan and Nachan got mad at me when I told them what happened. Onaikan even wanted to ground me, but Archer was able to change his mind, only that I wouldn't be allowed to take part in net battles for a couple of weeks, said Kuro with a grumble. Archer simply huffed. You should be thankful that I was able to convince him to let you off with that much. He would have taken your pet away with me included. So, have you met the others since then? Asked Sakura. Not really, but I did meet up with Lancer and Saber Lily and her Netop. Can't say that I want to bump into Gilgamesh and that Elizabeth during my browsing on the net, said Kuro thoughtfully. We can talk about that later. The exhibition match is about to start, Archer pointed out, getting everyone to look into the arena. The ones participating in the arena were Higsby and Numberman going up against Ribita and her NetNavi Toadman, with the latter Netop going on to explain the features of the Coliseum, where the arena can be anything from an icy wasteland to even outer space, along with other features available to everyone. The match soon went underway, with Toadman quickly demonstrating to be a rushdown type of combatant as he laid down pressure on Numberman. Higsby displayed a new feature of net battling by downloading a fire tower battle chip for Numberman to use, then using a cannon battle chip to set up a cannon turret and remotely controlling it with his pet. Ribita countered with a double aqua tower to cancel out the fire tower, then followed up by deploying several mini-bombs to attack. Higsby was about to provide Numberman with a life aura battle chip for protection, but his bad habit reared its ugly head, causing him to hesitate, which in turn led to Numberman getting blown up and losing the match. Huh, didn't know that Higsby wasn't really that good at net battling, said Naruto with a sweat drop. Megaman spoke sheepishly. Well, Higsby is more of a collector of rare battle chips than a net battler. We can see that clearly. Being picky about battle chips in the midst of a net battle is the last thing, said Archer with a quirked eyebrow. Hope you keep an open space in your schedule, cause Archer and I wanna battle you two again, said Kuro with an excited grin. Naruto and Naruto grinned in response. The feeling's mutual. I bet that you two are gonna be stronger since the last time we've faced off. Kuro, where are you? A male voice called out. Kuro looked back with a sweat drop. That's my Onaikan. I have to go before he comes and thinks I was having a net battle. I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye. Naruto and the others saw her off as Archer jacked out. Can we go to the library? Asked Alice. Naruto gave a nod. Sure, no doubt we'll be going there too when we're given homework. Let's not talk about homework right now, said Lon nervously. Sounds to me like you haven't done yours yet, said Meilu with a small frown, making Lon sweat a bit. Okay, we'll see you later then, said Roll, pulling Megaman along by the arm before he could say anything. Hey, take it easy, Roll. Megaman stumbled a bit while being pulled. She's being kinda pushy, don't you think? Asked Naruto, watching them leave. It's a girl thing, Naruto-kun. Nothing to worry about, said Sakura in a knowing tone. Even Alice and Shiori were nodding agreement with her. Okay, the cyber ninja could only shrug. The group resumed their exploration of the internet city, taking in the sights and even listening to Aki the internet popstar idol singing. Naruto has come to liking the songs of this world, especially the ones of J-pop and EDM genre. They were almost at the library when they got a video call from Lon. Maelstrom, we've got an emergency, said Lon urgently. What's the matter? Asked Naruto. Glide had just informed us that the computer network of the Ayano mansion has been sabotaged, and now Yai's passed out in the bathroom, which is filling up with steam, said Meilu worriedly. That's terrible, she'll suffocate, said Alice with concern. Not gonna happen, I'll head over there right now through the net while my clone will head on over to the mansion, said Naruto, determined to save Yai. Same here, we're sending Megaman and Roll over too and make our way there, said Lon before ending the transmission. Sakura-chan, take Alice and Shiori home while I go and help rescue Yai, Naruto instructed. Sakura nodded in affirmation, will do, and please be careful. Naruto nodded before running towards the nearest access point and using it to stream through the net and arriving at the comp of the Ayano computer network, where he saw Roll tending to a hurt Glide. Is he okay? Asked Naruto. He's doing okay, said there was something in the ventilation system and Megaman went to check it out, Roll explained. Then that's where I'm going. Naruto took off and went through a cyber gateway which took him into the inner workings of the ventilation system. He had to watch out for the jets of steam which would often shoot from beneath the meshed walkways until he finally caught up with Megaman, who was standing at the edge of a collapsed bridge. What's the matter, Megaman? Asked Naruto. Well, the bridge is out and I'm not sure I can jump across to the other side since the gap is too wide to do that, said Megaman with a small frown. Naruto hummed in thought as he looked at the gap before coming up with an idea. This calls for the Naruto cannon. Megaman was confused at the name. What's that? It's a move which I created back home that enables me to reach places which I can't do on my own. How does it work? Like this, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto created 2 shadow clones, with one grabbing hold of him then throwing him into the air across the gap and landing on the other side with a roll. Megaman blinked in surprise. Whoa, that's pretty cool. The clone grinned in response. Thanks, now it's your turn to fly. Ready to go then, the second clone grabbed Megaman before throwing him across the gap to the other side as well, with him landing in a similar fashion. Good work, guys. The ventilation controls must be just up ahead, said Lon. Where are you guys? Asked Naruto as the duo resumed their running towards the controls. Almost at the mansion and your clone has caught up, which is pretty fast. I applied chakra to my feet to increase my speed, albeit reducing the amount of time left on the holobrace a bit, said Naruto. Then you need to hurry, don't know how much time Yai has left, said Naruto urgently. Got it. There's the ventilation controls ahead of us. Megaman pointed at said controls a short distance away from them. Now we can save Yai. However, Naruto caught the sight of something at the corner of his eye. Watch out. He grabbed Megaman by the arm and jumped back, right on time to avoid a trio of tornadoes which almost hit them. Who's there? A blue NetNavi with his upper body designed to be like that of a jet turbine stepped forward to confront the duo. The name's Airman and you brats are out of your element. Air bullet. The turbine on his chest started to spin as he fired multiple clouds of explosive air. Not so fast, Aurum blade. Naruto summoned the weapon into his hand, then shot at the incoming projectiles, destroying them before they could draw any closer to them. You guys there yet? We've just arrived at the mansion and making our way to Yai so we can get her out, said Lon, connecting to a jack-in port and inserting a battle chip to equip Megaman with a wide sword. Try to manage with this for now. Okay then. Megaman stood at the ready with his arm transformed into a blade. Airman scoffed at this, "You little brats don't stand a chance against me. Don't count your cyber chickens until they've hatched," Naruto retorted, taking a stance next to Megaman. "Don't make me laugh, air bullet." Airman launched several more of the explosive clouds with Naruto wasting no time to shoot them all down at a rapid rate before switching to the Palutena bow, knocking several arrows of energy then firing them. Airman quickly summoned another trio of tornadoes to deflect the energy arrows before launching them forward to attack the duo. "I don't think so." Megaman dashed forwards and sliced all three tornadoes into halves in one slash, but he was taken by surprise upon seeing that Airman had followed up firing a barrage of air bullets which were heading straight towards him. Naruto leapt over Megaman from behind whilst splitting the Palutena bow into dual short swords before slicing them apart for the pieces to explode away from them. "Thanks. Maelstrom. Got your back Mega, need to hold this guy back while Lon and the others save Yai." Naruto connected the blades together to reform the bow before taking aim once more at their target. Outside in the real world, Naruto along with Lon and Melu had finally reached the bathroom where Yai was unconscious in and tried to open the glass door only to find out that it was electronically locked, much to their frustration, especially the blonde ninja who was wondering why one would need an electronic lock for a bathroom door of all things. One of the butlers was walking with a tray of strawberry milk when he saw what was going on. "What on earth are you children doing?" "Yai is passed out inside the bathroom and it's filling up with hot steam, but the door's not opening," said Melu urgently. "Good heavens, keep trying to open the door while I access the ventilation system." "It's no use, Glide told us that the system's been sabotaged and we can't get this darn door to open," said Lon, pull the door open but to no avail. "In that case, everyone stand back," Naruto called out. "What are you going to do?" asked Melu confusedly. "I'm gonna smash through the glass so we can get to Yai that way." Naruto raised a fist back whilst channeling some chakra into it before punching the glass and shattering it for the steam to billow out. "Good job Naruto, but we need to find a way to get the steam out." Lon looked around and found a folded fan on a nearby table. "I've got an idea, I'll need help with this." The others quickly took whatever they can use and joined Lon in fanning the steam away just enough for them to see Yai sprawled out on the ground. Mela covered her nose with a cloth and quickly went in to carry Yai out of the bathroom. "We got Yai out, now to get the steam out. With the system on the fritz, we need to open the windows so that the steam can exit out of the mansion." Naruto instructed, the original having dealt with this kind of situation before whenever he mistakenly detonated smoke grenades in his room. The butler nodded in understanding. "Understood, I'll get right on it immediately," he went on to open the windows around them. "Alright then, now to help Megaman and Naruto and find out the reason for all this," said Lon before he and Naruto connected their pets to the nearest terminal to aid their net novice. Naruto and Megaman jumped back to avoid the next barrage of tornadoes launched in their direction, with Airman ensuring that he positioned between them and the ventilation control so that they don't get to it. "Just why are you doing this?" Megaman demanded. "That's for me to know and for you to mind your own business," Airman retorted. Naruto glared at the NetNavi. "Yai-chan is our friend, it became our business the very moment you attacked her." Then a holoscreen with no visual appeared next to Airman with a man's voice speaking through it. "Just what do you know about your friend's father?" "He owns a Yanotech, what does that have to do with her?" asked Megaman. "Not that it particularly matters, it could have been any greedy corporation. The Ayanos were merely a suitable target for us," said the man menacingly. "Us? Sounds like you're working in a group, who are they?" Naruto demanded. "Like I'm so naive to tell you just like that, just remain where you are so that your friend can die for our plan," said the man. "Not gonna happen since we've already saved her, plus look behind you," Naruto pointed with a smirk. Airman looked behind him only to be shocked upon seeing another Naruto working on the controls before looking back and childishly blowing a raspberry before disappearing in a puff of smoke. "Ninja 101, deception is often the key to victory," said Naruto with a smirk. The man growled angrily. "Why you little, Airman, delete them." "With pleasure, air bullet." Airman launched a large explosive cloud towards them. "Gotcha covered." spreader battle chip in, download. Lon inserted a battle chip into the pet, transforming Megaman's arm into a blaster as he fired a scatter shot to destroy the cloud, but then Airman leapt through the smoke with a fist reared back for a punch at the duo. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto created a shadow clone to catch the incoming punch with both hands. Airman tried to attack with his free hand, but Naruto intercepted that as well by blocking it himself. Airman sneered as he prepared to fire an air bullet at point-blank range, charge shot. Megaman fired a power blast from his Mega Buster, knocking Airman away from them. Time for a debut. Rock Bullet, Jutsu Battle Chip in, download. Naruto inserted the battle chip into the pet, then a large boulder appeared in front of him before shooting towards Airman and smashed the NetNavi into a wall. Whoa, where did you get that? I don't think Higsby has these in stock, asked Lon curiously. Let's talk about it later, focus on the battle, said Naruto. Airman. Tornado battle chip in, download. The man retaliated by inserting a battle chip into his pet, making Airman conjure a pair of large tornadoes to attack the duo. You aren't the only one who can blow stuff away. Great breakthrough, Jutsu battle chip in, download. Naruto inserted the next chip into the pet. Naruto opened up his faceplate as he took in a deep breath before expelling a massive gale of wind, easily overwhelming the twin tornadoes and slamming Airman into the wall yet again, denting it this time. Alright then, let's you go up against a tripe tornado. The man inserted 3 battle chips in rapid succession. Airman summoned 3 large tornadoes and combined them into a giant one with him inside of it. Okay, now that's a big one, said Naruto warily. Any ideas, anyone? Asked Megaman. Then we'll just have to supersize it too. Megaman, I'm activating a style change, Heat Gut style. Lon quickly inputted the commands for Megaman to undergo the transformation into the aforementioned style change. Kit, use the fire jutsu chip. Kurama called out. What do you mean? Thought Naruto. Wind element is weak to fire element, as the latter becomes even stronger by consuming the former. Got it, I need a fire jutsu pronto. Naruto called out. Coming right up. Giant fireball, jutsu battle chip in, download. Naruto inserted the battle chip to supply Naruto with the needed jutsu. Okay Mega, let's finish this, said Naruto before taking in another deep breath. Right. Megaman transformed his arm into a long rectangular white cannon and began charging it up. Airman scoffed arrogantly at what they were doing. Is that supposed to scare me? No, it's supposed to delete you. Fire. Megaman unleashed a powerful energy beam while Naruto breathed out a giant ball of fire. Both attacks combined before completely overwhelming the giant tornado, much to Airman and his Netop's disbelief before the former was engulfed in flames and delete afterwards. We did it. Lon cheered happily. Naruto smirked in agreement, after returning to possess the holobody, that we did, awesome teamwork. Naruto. Lon. Yai's coming around. Meilu called out, making the boys rush over to check on her. Yai slowly opened her eyes with a small groan. What happened? Lon, Meilu and Naruto saved your life, Milady Glide explained to his Netop. Yai looked down and began to blush, seeing that she only has a towel on her right now. Hold on, you mean they saved me dressed like this? That's right, Miss Meilu carried you out once the boys managed to break the glass for her to get to you, said the butler, relieved to see that his MSTRS is okay now. Yai let out a sigh of relief at that. Thank goodness, no offense, but if it was you two that carried me out, I would have died of embarrassment. This got everyone to laugh at what Yai said, no longer feeling the tension anymore. But then Naruto's pet started ringing, which he answered to see that it was Sakura, but she appeared to be very worried. Sakura-chan, what's the matter? Asked Naruto with concern. Naruto, something is happening in Net City. Look. She displayed an image of the internet city for everyone to see, dark clouds hovering above it, and was actually raining. Rain, in Net City? Does it happen, Meilu? Asked Lon confusedly. Meilu shook her head in response. No it doesn't, such a feature has never been announced to us. Anybody get the feeling that the rain in Net City and the attack on Yae are somehow connected? Asked Naruto with a frown. When you say it like that, I'm starting to get that feeling too, said Lon. Everyone watched the rain continue to fall over Net City. Unaware at the moment that an organization that is potentially worse than WWW is about to make its appearance known to the entire world. And to think that I just recently got back from dealing with a computer with a messiah complex which had a link to the moon, thought Naruto with a groan. How could this have happened? Asked Meilu in confusion as she looked at the holoscreen which shows a thunderstorm over Net City which is being attacked by swarms of viruses. When they learned of what happened to Net City after rescuing Yae from an assassination attempt from an unknown Nitop and his NetNavi from Sakura. The group immediately went to Yae's treehouse to find out more of what's going on. Even worse, the data which makes up Net City is being washed away the rain made by all those cloudy viruses. At this rate, Net City will be erased, said Yae worriedly. No doubt we would kick some serious virus but if not for that darn roadblock preventing us from jacking in. Dex gritted his teeth in frustration. The only link to Net City has been severed completely, I find it quite diabolical, said Glide with concern. They were snapped out of their thoughts when they heard someone calling for help and it was coming from Net City. They looked and recognized who it is. It's Aki the songstress, said Megaman. If this keeps up, the destruction of Net City will also affect the real world in a bad way, said Tori. Naruto frowned in thought, there's gotta be some way for us to get there, maybe create a new link or find one. Hearing those words, Lon snapped his fingers in realization, that's it, I've got it. What is it? Asked Meilu. I think I know how we can enter Net City, we need to head over to Higsby's chip shop. Then let's go, and I know how we can get there, said Yae with a sly smile. Numberman. Numberman. Why isn't he answering? Higsby was sitting in front of a computer at the back room of his chip shop, trying to contact his NetNavi. I don't understand what's going on. Higsby heard something in the main room and went to see what it is. What's that sound? At that moment, the whole room began to shake as if an earthquake is occurring. But that's not what is bothering him. No. Not my chips. They're irreplaceable. Apparently, Higsby is more concerned about the conditions of his battle chips than his shop or even his own life. He watched in horror as everything fell apart in spite of his attempts to save the very things he loves. Suddenly, something burst out of the floor, revealing to be some sort of drilling machine. That was uncalled for, I just mopped that floor. Higsby lamented, ignoring the elephant or in this case, drill in the room. A compartment on the drill machine opened up and someone familiar emerged from it. Lon. Hey Higsby. Lon jumped out and walked past him towards the back room. Just need to borrow your terminal for a bit. The others soon followed after him. Think I can get another like that one in Periwinkle? Asked Yae, apparently the owner of the drilling machine. Dex smiled gleefully, with your dad's dough, he could buy hundreds of them in all kinds of colors. Just keep in mind that I will be the one driving it back, Meilu spoke up. A machine capable of burrowing underground without a single use of ninjutsu. I have so much more to learn about this world, said Naruto in awe. Huh, what going on? Higsby couldn't understand what was going on. Tori approached him to apologize, sorry about not calling you first, but it's an emergency. In the back room, Lon was setting something up on Higsby's computer with everyone watching in anticipation. I don't understand, what is it you need to do here that you can't do at your house? Asked Higsby confusedly. Lon turned to explain, you see, the main server which links to Net City is being blocked by those cloudy viruses. But we can utilize an alternate route to Net City with help from your server here at the chip shop. Naruto's words from before helped me recall that business ventures like yours have separate links to Net City besides we who use the publicized link. I see, I'm also worried about Numberman since I've lost contact with him a while ago. But the only complaint I have is for you to use the front door next time. What if you drilled straight up my chair while I was sitting on it? That would have hurt a lot. He's got a point there, sorry about that, Dex apologized. Okay, we've got a way in. Now to get rid of the viruses, then find out what's going on and who's doing this, said Naruto. But Naruto, battle chips are banned in Net City. We're only allowed to use the most basic of weapons like busters and stuff, Tori pointed out to everyone. Megaman clenched his fist with determination. It will have to be enough, working together should help turn things around for us and everyone else. We're with you all the way. Roll was in support and Rush is just as eager to help. With Miss Yai's permission, you have my full support, said Glide. Count on Gutsman to crush everything. Guts. 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 Gutsman pounded his fists against his chest. Me too, I'll freeze them solid. Iceman was also determined. Naruto smiled at them. That's what I like to hear from you guys. We're strong alone but we're stronger together. Lon spoke up. Okay, I've set up the link. Just be careful cause we don't know what we're heading to in there. Right, everyone took out their pet and prepared to access the cyberspace. Jack in. Megaman, power up, said Lon. Jack in. Roll, power up, said Melu. Jack in. Glide, power up, said Yai. Jack in. Gutsman, power up, said Dex. Jack in. Iceman, power up, said Tori. Jacking in and powering up, said Naruto. Everyone plugged into the ports and their net novice went through the cyberlink and soon on their way to Net City. In Net City. 108, 109, 110. Numberman was currently fending off the viruses that were raiding the shop with a long ruler serving as a melee weapon. Where are all these viruses coming from? 111. They could have at least bought something. However, Numberman has let his guard down as a Sparky virus was about to attack him from behind only to be blasted to pixels. Numberman turned around to see Megaman and the others with the former holding up his Mega Buster. Numberman, are you okay? Asked Roll worriedly. I'm doing just fine, only a little weary. Well, you can jack out now. Higsby has been worried about you ever since he lost contact with you, said Iceman. Is that so? In that case, I'll be on my way. You all should be careful out there, said Numberman before logging out. And returning to Higsby's pet. When the group went outside of the shop, it goes without saying that they were all shocked by the sheer number of viruses swarming all over the place and destroying the city piece by piece. We need to stop this rain from washing the city's data away, said Megaman. Then I suggest that we target the source, which are the cloudy viruses. I can carry you on my back and fly close enough so we can delete them, Glide suggested. That's a good idea, you two do that while the rest of us deal with the viruses on the ground, said Naruto. Alright, watch yourselves. Megaman got onto Glide's back, then they took off into the air. Alright then, I'll start us off by evening the odds. Naruto crossed the middle and index fingers of both hands and channeled his chakra, shadow clone jutsu. There were puffs of smoke as several dozen copies of himself appeared around him. Let's clean this mess up. Right, everyone moved in unison and proceeded to attack the viruses en masse. Guts. Gutsman swing his large fists around, deleting clusters of Sparky viruses with each attack while Dex cheered him on to maintain the offense. Roll blast. Roll kissed the tips of her fingers before waving her hand to launch a barrage of pink heart-shaped projectiles into several mushy viruses. Rush, call for some viruses to help us out. Rush popped out of a hole, then barked a few times to summon a squad of meteor viruses that worked in unison with their pickaxes to launch a large shockwave along the ground. The Cyber Pup also summoned ratty viruses to provide support with their kamikaze attacks. Cyber Blizzard. Iceman breathed out gusts of icy wind from his mouth and was freezing multiple viruses solid before they crumbled to pieces or were immobilized for the others to shatter them. Mega Buster. Megaman was constantly firing his buster at the cloudy viruses whilst Glide was providing cover fire with his glide cannon. Back on the ground, Naruto was working in tandem with his shadow clones as he utilizes his chakra blade and vorpal blade to cut down any virus that got in his way. From the corner of his eye, Naruto caught the sight of a pack of spiky viruses rushing towards him and his clones. He put away the chakra blade and vorpal blade, then equipped himself with the aurum blade, which he changed to the tiger claws. Let's see you handle this, Claw Cyclone. Naruto spins rapidly like a top with claws outstretched to repeatedly strike surrounding enemies until they were deleted. Claw Drill. Then he leapt forward with the claws in front of him while spinning rapidly like a drill, piercing through anything unfortunate to be in his way. Naruto looked around to see more viruses appear, making him frown. Something's off about all this. It's like more viruses show up to replace the ones we've deleted. Do you think that maybe there's a source where they're coming from? Asked Lon. I'm beginning to suspect that. My clones and I will spread out to look for it. Naruto gave the order as he and the shadow clones spread out to investigate. You might want to hurry. I don't know how long we'll be able to keep this up, said Iceman. Right. Naruto was leaping across the rooftops of the tall buildings, all the while busting any virus that came across his path before jumping off a roof to land on a street and look around for clues, but wasn't finding anything remotely suspicious. Come on, there's gotta be a clue on where the source of the viruses could be. No doubt it won't be out in the open, but somewhere no one would think of searching, Naruto muttered to himself. He was snapped out of his thoughts upon hearing the sounds of battle close by and went towards it, curious about what else could be fighting the viruses besides him and the others. Upon arrival, Naruto was surprised to see two familiar faces decimating the viruses and called out to them. Lancer and Saber Lily. Naruto exclaimed in shock. Hearing their names, the two NetNavis turned to see Naruto and were surprised that he's here considering the current situation. Well, if it isn't Maelstrom, long time no see buddy, Lancer smiled whilst propping his crimson spear against his shoulder. Maelstrom, what are you doing here? It's not safe, said Saber Lily with concern. A holoscreen appeared next to her and showed Barrett, who was frowning. She's not wrong about that. Why are you here? I'm aware of that, which is why I'm here along with my friends to help stop it before it affects the real world, Naruto explained. But why are you two here? For me, I was taking a nap at the cyber park when all this happened and those darn viruses started bugging me. That's when I ran into Saber Lily here, and since we're familiar with each other, we decided to team up and find a way to put a stop to this mess, Lancer explained. Naruto turned to Saber Lily. Well, the truth is that Barrett and I are Net officials. We came here to investigate the sudden invasion of viruses in Net City and put a stop to it. So, you're cyber cops. Well, your Netop certainly gives off the vibe of a cop, Lancer commented with a shrug of his shoulders. Who are they, Naruto? Asked Lon confusedly. Friends who I made while you were on your trip to Netopia, Naruto explained. Since we're all here together, how about we team up to find the cause of all this and deal with it? Lancer suggested. I'm not sure that it is a good idea, said Saber Lily, feeling rather unsure. Come on, we survived that crazy tournament. This should be a piece of cake. What does he mean by that? Asked Yae curiously. I'll tell you all later, Naruto responded quickly, not wanting to talk about the Moon Cell tournament since he hadn't told them yet, since it would involve revealing Sakura's origins. Lancer's not wrong, plus we dueled before so we know each other's capabilities, Naruto insisted. Barrett was silent for a moment before giving her response. Very well then, just be careful and avoid reckless actions. Naruto nodded in affirmation. No problem. We'll keep you posted on whatever happens on our side, said Meilu. Lancer smirked as he twirled his spear. This is gonna be interesting. Let's resume our search for the source of the virus and whoever is the cause of all this, Saber Lily instructed. I've got my shadow clones doing that already, nothing from their side so far, said Naruto. Very well, let's pick up where we left off, said Barrett. Sometime later, the newly formed trio had been checking all over in search of the source, but were having no luck, especially with the viruses constantly hounding them at every turn. It's becoming quite frustrating since they know fully well that they can't keep this up for much longer at the rate they're going. Geez, just how many of these things are there? Feels like we've walked into a virus nest or something. Lancer complained. I can understand your frustrations, Lancer. Even I feel the same way. There's must be something we're missing, a place we haven't considered to look, said Saber Lily. A place we haven't considered to look, Naruto hummed in thought. They had checked the shops, the rooftops, the alleyways, and other places. Even Lon and the others weren't finding anything on their side. Naruto's eyes looked to see the rainwater flowing into a sluice and began to realize something, more so when he recalled Kakashi's words of advice. "Look underneath the underneath," Kakashi's voice echoed in his mind. "That's it, the sewers. The only place we haven't checked yet are the sewers beneath our feet." Naruto exclaimed. The others heard this and began to catch on. Of course, whoever caused this would have done so in the sewers where no one would ever think of treading into. How could I have missed this? Barrett wanted to hit herself for missing something like this. Don't start beating yourself up, lady. Remember that the sewer is the last place anyone would think of, Lancer pointed out. Saber Lily nodded in agreement. Now that we know where to look next, let's search for an entry point and investigate. I'll leave some of my clones out here just in case, Naruto suggested. I'll inform Megaman and the others to check the sewers too, said Lon. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Alright, let's go. After quickly locating a manhole cover, the trio made their way down to the sewers and began their exploration. Lancer looked around and couldn't help but comment, so this is where all the junk and the bad data goes, and here I thought the real world has trouble with pollution. Goes to show how both worlds share similarities, Saber Lily pointed out. Guys, listen. Megaman, Roll and Glide found Torchman in the sewers but he's hurt bad. He said that there's a virus factory in the sewers, we're heading there now. Lon informed them. Is there anything else he told you? Asked Barrett seriously. He told us to watch out some sort of organization called Grave, claims that it's much worse than WWW. In that case, we're on our way to provide support. No doubt that the one in charge of the virus factory is strong and you all can't use battle chips due to the restrictions, Saber Lily instructed. Lon nodded in understanding. Okay, please hurry. Alright then, let's get a move on, said Lancer. The trio began running through the sewer in hopes of reaching the virus factory to meet up with Megaman and the others to destroy it together and find out more about this mysterious organization known as Grave. They exited from the sewer tunnel to find themselves in a large area where multiple tunnels and giant pipes conjoin. Naruto stiffened and called upon his Orem blade, which caught the other two's attention, making them wield their weapons at the ready. Then they heard laughter. Guess you guys aren't as green as I thought. If you could tell that I was hiding, the unknown person spoke in amusement. Why don't you show yourself so I can politely shove my spear down your throat, said Lancer. Heh, you got a mouth on ya. Very well then, the unknown NetNavi jumped off from a pipe hanging overhead to land on the ground and reveal himself to the group. He has a black and red body with long metallic arms which have red gauntlets adorned with black spiked cuffs, an orange mohawk on his head, large red shoulder pads adorned with spikes on both of them, and a pair of red boots with metallic tips. Apparently, this NetNavi didn't work along as several purple evil-looking NetNavis appeared from the other sewer tunnels and went to stand behind the main one. Naruto recalled seeing these kinds of NetNavis on the news and that they're called heel Navis. The name's Punk and this is my gang. You three aren't meant to be here, said the now revealed Punk. On the contrary, we're right where we need to be. Considering that you don't want us anywhere near that virus factory of yours, said Lancer. So, you know of it. That gives us no choice but to delete you. Naruto pointed his Orem blade towards them. I'd like to see you try. We need to hurry and end this fight so we can aid the others, said Saber Lily while brandishing her caliban. Alright then, let's get to it. Lancer took a stance. Punk and the heel novice prepared to fight. You guys are in for a beatdown. Here I come, Mad Roller. Punk encapsulated himself with his two shoulder pads to take on the shape of a spiky wheel. Then he rolled towards the trio at high speed, forcing them to leap out of the way but had to stay on their toes as he came back around for another attack. Take this. Naruto took aim with his Orem blade and fired rapidly only for the plasma bullets to be deflected upon impact on Punk's spiky wheel form. It won't have an effect on him while he's transformed. Sensing movement from behind, Naruto spun round whilst unsheathing his Vorpal blade to block a slash from a heel Navi that was using a cyber sword to attack him. Then he pressed the muzzle of the Aurum blade against the heel Navi's chest and pulled the trigger to fire a point-blank shot. "Please be careful, he's not the only enemy to focus on," said Saber Lily, clashing with a pair of heel Navis with cyber swords that were teaming up against her, but she able to hold her own against them. Fire sword battle chip in, download. Barrett inserted a battle chip into the pet. Saber Lily's colbuns glowed red with intense heat as she pushed the two heel Navis back slightly, then took a quick step to bisect both in one slash of her sword. One of the heel Navis decided to attack from a distance as he equipped himself with a Vulcan and fired rapidly at Lancer, who faced the attack head-on by twirling his crimson spear in front of him like a propeller at high speed, which deflected each and every one of the bullets shot at him without fail, much to the enemy's belief. "You think you're the first to try this tactic on me? My fighting style is designed especially for guys like you who are too scared to face me up close and personal. Plus, two can play this game, magic spear throw." Lancer flung his spear strongly for it to zip through the air and pierce right through the chest of the heel Navi, deleting him before flying back to his hand. "Take this, Punk Chain." Punk extended his arms and used them as flails to attack Naruto, who took evasive action by sidestepping, dashing and somersaulting to avoid the lashing arms, chakra blade boomerang. Naruto counterattacked as he somersaulted over an arm and threw his chakra blade, sending it spinning through the air towards his target. However, Punk quickly stood sideways and enlarged one of his shoulder pads to serve as a makeshift tower shield, which deflected the incoming bladed weapon and was about to retaliate when he suddenly blasted away by a powerful gale of wind. He looked to see Saber Lily confronting him with her sword concealed by a veil of wind. "Allow me to partake in this battle," Saber Lily declared. "How are you here? My gang members are supposed to be dealing with you," Punk demanded. "Lancer persuaded me to let him handle with the rest while I aid Maelstrom in dealing with you," Saber Lily explained. "You two don't stand a chance against me. Double go round." Punk launched his two spiked shoulder pads, sending them to constantly ricochet off the walls and pipes in an attempt to strike the two, but he wasn't done yet. "Punk Chain," again he lashed out with his extendable arms in combination with the shoulder pads. "I'll keep those shoulder pads off of you while you deal with those arms of his," Naruto exclaimed as he equipped the Aurum blade and switched to the tiger claws. "Very well then." Saber Lily focused on the arms and prepared to engage. "Here's something to help. LX sword battle chip in, download." Barrett inserted a battle chip, causing the wind around the sword to dissipate and for blue electricity to course through the blade. Meanwhile, Lancer was laying on the pressure on the remaining heel Navis with his speed, which made it all too difficult for them to keep up or even react. "Time to wrap this up." Spear craft, Fangs of Earth, charging energy into the spear which made it emitting a bloody aura. Lancer dashes around at high speeds and repeatedly attack the enemies around him while leaving behind red trails of energy on the ground in his wake. The heel Navis didn't even stand a chance and it all ended in their deletion. Naruto was having trouble deflecting the spiked shoulder pads with his tiger claws. They were meant for swift strikes and not heavy duty. Getting pushed back from another attack, Naruto gritted his teeth in growing frustration at the lack of progress which he's making when the tiger claws suddenly underwent a transformation. His left arm is now equipped with a large gauntlet that extends over his forearm, designed to resemble a silver Taurus with a pair of long horns and a medium-sized green crystal close to the elbow. Naruto felt information flow into his mind concerning the weapon, so it's called the Taurus arm. The Aurum blade must have reacted to the situation and changed into what I need. Time for a test drive. He saw one of the shoulder pads heading his way and attacked it with a punch from the Taurus arm, which actually sent it flying away from him. He saw the other heading for Saber Lily, who was currently engaging Punk, and took aim to launch a large energy blast in the shape of a charging bull head to intercept the attack. "Whoa, this thing's got some serious power," Naruto marveled at his new weapon, seeing that it reminds him of Mega Man's Heat Gut style change, but didn't ignore the downside of its speed being sacrificed for power. "Stay sharp, the battle isn't over yet." Kurama spoke up in alert. "Right." Back to Saber Lily, she had figured out Punk's attack pattern and was now easily countering every one of his moves before initiating a critical strike with Barrett assisting her. Step sword battle chip, download. Saber Lily teleported from where she was to reappear right in front of Punk and slice both of his arms off before he could react. At this point, I suggest that you surrender and be taken in for questioning. There's quite a lot that we'd like to know about this organization of yours, said Saber Lily sternly. Punk scowled as he jumped backwards with his shoulder pads returning to him. He saw that all odds are against him and his gang have been thoroughly deleted. If it's come to this, he began to glow brightly, putting everyone on alert. I'll take all of you with me to the grave. He used his mad roller attack and rushed towards the trio. What the, is this guy planning to self-destruct with us? Lancer exclaimed in shock. I don't think so. Naruto rushed forward at the desperate NetNavi, surprising them both. Maelstrom, wait. Saber Lily called out in worry. Naruto reared back the Taurus arm with the gem glowing brightly before making his move as he attacked with a mighty uppercut which slammed into Punk, launching him into the air with such force that he smashed through the ceiling and into the cyber sky where he exploded harmlessly. Phew, glad that worked, said Naruto in relief only to be bonked in the head by Lancer's spear. What gives? Kid, that has to be the most craziest stunt I've ever seen anyone pull. Any sane person would run from a rolling bomb not at it. Lancer pointed out. He's right, what you did would have gotten you deleted. Saber Lily scolded. But there wasn't much time to properly counter. I figured that using the raw power of my new Taurus arm weapon would help me send him far away from us so we would be out of the range of the explosion, Naruto tried to explain. Barrett wasn't pleased nonetheless. That doesn't make it any less dangerous. Boom. What is it now? Lancer groaned as the place began to quake from the large explosion. Guys, you need to get out of the sewers, said Lon urgently. What happened? Saber Lily inquired. We got some help from Commander Beef when Sharkman gave us his battle chip license, which allows us to use battle chips, and borrowed some good ones from Higsby. Right now, we're working on taking down what's left of the cloudy viruses outside, Lon explained. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Alright, we're heading out now. With that said, the trio immediately made their exit from the sewers through the hole which was made when Naruto knocked Punk through the ceiling and emerged onto the streets. They looked to see that Mega Man was utilizing the Elec Team style and had combined with Glide to gain flying capabilities. Then he used an attack called Terrible to delete all of the cloudy viruses in one fell swoop. I'm impressed, that kid's got some power, Lancer commented. Yeah, Mega Man and Lon are a great team. Let's meet up with the others, said Naruto. They went over to Mega Man and Co. with Naruto introducing Lancer, Saber Lily and her Knee-Top Barrett to them. Think you're all pretty cool, huh? A snarky voice suddenly called out, putting everyone on guard once more and trying to locate the person. Well, think again. You've made us angry now. You all made a big mistake today. I'll even go as far as to say that you've made a grave mistake. Ha 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 ha. Then the voice faded away, meaning that the unknown NetNavi is gone now. Mega Man frowned at this, grave again. Anyone get the feeling that this organization is just getting started? Asked Naruto with a frown. It's not just you, I feel that we need to be very cautious from this point on, said Saber Lily seriously. Sigh, I just know that it's going to cut into my cyber fishing time, Lancer groaned. Wait, you can fish in the internet? Asked Dex confusedly. Actually yeah, quite relaxing. I suggest you try it out sometime. At the very least, Net City is safe again, said Roll with relief. Maybe so, but I'll need to report to the higher-ups concerning what happened here, said Barrett. Okay Barrett-san, hope to see you again, said Naruto politely. Saber Lily smiled at Naruto. The feeling is mutual, and please try not to take such risks like before, okay? Then she logged out. Catch you guys later, maybe we could have a net battle or go cyber fishing the next time we meet. Lancer turned around and began walking away, waving at them with a two-finger salute. See you later, Lancer. Naruto bade the spearman farewell. I wouldn't mind the former, said Lon. I'll be the one to go at him first. Dex declared. I don't know about you guys, but I'm heading home to rest after all this. Melu spoke up. You've got the right idea, Iceman and I are tuckered out, said Tori in agreement. It was worth since Gutsman and I are able to save Aki, Iceman added, getting a thumbs up from Gutsman. I'd better get going too, no doubt Sakura-chan, Alice-chan and Shiori-chan are worried, said Naruto. And don't worry about the hole in the floor, I'll send someone to fix it up for you, said Yae. Higsby nodded gratefully. I'd really appreciate that. Later on, Naruto had made his way back home and took the elevator to his apartment room and went inside thanks to the spare key he stored in a seal on the back of his pet since he didn't want to lose it or anyone to steal it either. I'm home. Naruto called out. He soon found himself being hugged by a worried Sakura. Thank goodness you're back, we have all been worried ever since we saw what happened to Net City, said Sakura with concern. Naruto smiled apologetically. Sorry for worrying you. He went to the living room and found Alice and Shiori on the screen of the computer and perked up when they saw him. Apparently, Seal took their holobraces with her reason being that she wants to obtain the data from them. Big brother, you're back, said Alice with relief. Shiori looked unhappy. Though you made us worry, that's bad. I'm really sorry for that, but I couldn't ignore what was happening and worked with Lon and the others to put a stop to what was happening in Net City. I even ran into Lancer, Saber Lily and her Netop Barrett, Naruto explained. I remember them, they partook in the Moon Cell tournament, said Sakura in recognition. Yeah, turns out that Saber Lily and Barrett are Net officials who were sent to resolve the issue. Naruto went on to explain about what happened in Net City and of the organization called Grave. How terrible, to think that this organization is even capable of something like attacking Net City. Sakura was beside herself with worry. Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder to reassure her. Not to worry, Sakura-chan. As long as I'm still kicking, I'm not going to let anyone hurt any of you. Hearing such a declaration from the blonde cyber ninja brought relief to Sakura, Alice and Shiori as they smiled at Naruto, feeling grateful that he came into their lives. Sakura smiled gratefully. Thank you, Naruto. That's our big brother. Alice cheered. I expect no less from you. Shiori nodded in approval. Wanting to rest about everything he had gone through, from rescuing Yae from an attempt on her life to freeing a cyber city from the terrorism of a cyber criminal organization. Naruto jacked into the computer and went to take a short nap in his room at the virtual home, sighing in relief as he felt the fatigue go away. Sakura watched Naruto and smiled, seeing the peaceful look on his face as he slept. However, she couldn't help but feel sad as she doesn't know how she can help him. Not only does she not have a NetNavi but also lacks quite a bit of experience when it comes to net battling. Her only strong points are her highly proficient skills when it comes to programming, coding and network due to her formerly being an AI connected to the Moon Cell before becoming human. There has to be something I can do to help him. I hope Miss Seal brings what I asked, Sakura muttered to herself. She was snapped out of her thoughts when her pet beeped to notify her of an email. Sakura opened the mail and read its contents. Hello Sakura. Hope everyone is doing okay considering the current situation in Net City. I want to ask you to prepare dinner with Extra tonight. I'll be bringing someone over to eat with us and I'm sure you all will get along with her. See you later. Seal. Miss Seal will be bringing along a guest for dinner tonight. I wonder if it's a coworker from Scilabs. Sakura muttered in thought, then snapped back into focus as she needs to make plans for what to cook for tonight. Later in the night, Naruto was helping Sakura by setting up the dinner table for Seal and the guest's arrival after receiving a phone call from the former that they're currently on their way. Alice and Shiori were watching cartoons to keep themselves occupied and Sakura started bringing the food to the table. Naruto looked at the food with longing. Man, they all look so good. I wish Hikari-san found a way for me come to the real world already. Sakura smiled in sympathy, though a part of her wishes for the day to come when Naruto fully emerges into the real world so he could try out her cooking, maybe ramen, since it's no secret that Naruto absolutely loves it. They were pulled out of their thoughts when they heard the door opened and turned to see Seal come inside. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Doing okay, Seal-nichan. Where's the guest you were telling us about? Asked Naruto curiously. Seal blinked in confusion and looked back to see no one standing behind her, which caused her to sigh. Oh dear, her habit has kicked in again. Give me a moment, please, she left the room much to everyone's confusion. Naruto didn't know how to react to this. Seal soon returned while gently pulling someone with her by the hand. Sorry about that, allow me to introduce to you, Chiaki Nanami. She gently prodded the person to stand in front of her. She's a girl about their age and has short pale mauve hair that slightly curls outwards at the ends, though the locks on either side of her face curl inwards. She has short straight bangs split towards the right, a white hairclip resembling a spaceship from a video game pinned to a lock of her hair, and has sleepy-looking blossom pink eyes. The girl wears a white button-up shirt with a dark teal-gray front placket, a light pink ribbon tied around her neck in a bow with a pale beige pleated skirt. On top of this, she wears a one-button dark teal-gray hooded cardigan with gray horizontal lines running across the hem and sleeves. Her hood has pointed ears on the top and two pink eye-like markings on the front, resembling a cat. She also sports black thigh-high socks and light pink Mary Jane-style shoes with white soles. Hi there, the name's Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto introduced himself with a foxy grin. Sakura smiled politely. Hello, I'm Sakura Matu. Alice's name is Alice Uzumaki. Alice cheerfully called out from the computer screen. Shiori gave a nod. You can call me Shiori Uzumaki. The sleepy girl looked at them in silence for about a minute before finally giving a response. Salutations, I think. They all sweat dropped at the last part as if she herself isn't sure she's happy to meet them or not. Humans become stranger with everyone I meet, Kurama commented. Wanting to erase the sudden awkward atmosphere, Seal spoke up. Chiaki is actually the daughter of two friends of mine who are always traveling all over the world, so I'm her guardian and she lives a floor above us. Okay, we don't mind, said Naruto. He'll just have to learn more about her as they interact. He knows better than to prejudge since he's a victim of that since BRTH. They soon sat down to have dinner. Although Naruto chose to relax in the living and watch TV while the others ate, this didn't go unnoticed by Chiaki, who would glance at him every now and then. Seal saw this and asked, is there something the matter? Why isn't he eating? Maybe, is it punishment? Asked Chiaki sleepily, pausing in her sentences. Sakura immediately refuted, no, it's not like that all. Just that, she didn't know how to explain it without sounding crazy. Naruto heard the question and turned to them. He glanced at Seal, who nodded as if giving the go-ahead. The cyber ninja got up and joined them at the table. The reason why I'm not eating is because I can't since I'm currently a NetNavi. Chiaki blinked at the revelation, neither expressing disbelief or shock. How? Naruto raised his hand to reveal the bracelet. This here is the holobrace which that you plug into the bracelet, which transfers the consciousness of the NetNavi into it. Then the bracelet creates a physical holographic body for the NetNavi to move around in, something that we call the holobody. Interesting. Chiaki looked at the bracelet intently, surprising everyone that this is the most awake she is since they first met her. Can you use battle chips with the holobody? Actually no, neither can he use battle chips nor consume food, Sakura pointed out. That reminds me. Seal reached into her bag and took out a small metallic case which she opened to reveal two bracelets that appear similar to Naruto's but appear more advanced. This is the latest version of the holobrace based on the data logged from the latest one with some improvements. What kind of improvements? Asked Naruto curiously. Let's finish dinner first, it's getting cold after all. Okay, I think. Chiaki surprised everyone when she pouted a bit, an unusual action which they found cute. After dinner, everyone was at the dinner. Naruto decided to have Alice and Shiori try out the new holobraces, with the two being rather excited to do so. Chiaki noted how Naruto first plugged his pet into the holobraces first, which seemed to do something to them, and thought to inquire about it later. Naruto plugged the holobraces into the computer and the sisters transferred into them. The gems glowed brightly for a few minutes, then chakra radiated from them and took form before finally fading away to reveal Alice and Shiori standing before everyone. The sisters looked at their hands and looked around to fully realize that they're truly standing in the real world and not looking through a computer screen. The first thing they did was hug Naruto, who nearly fell but managed to regain his balance while hugging them back with a laugh. Then they went to hug Sakura and Seal, who hugged them back fondly. It's easy to tell that they've been wanting to do this for a long time. Thank you, big sis Seal, said Alice and Shiori simultaneously with bright smiles. Seal smiled back, "You're most welcome. Now let's check the duration of the bracelets though." She tapped on the gems, and 2 holographic screens appeared before displaying the timers. "Seems like it's capable of lasting for 8 hours, which is longer than the first version." "Amazing, this level of technology is groundbreaking, I think," said Chiaki. "Even so, it's still in its development phase as of now. It will be a while until it can go public," Seal explained. "I see, I think. I don't know if she's being a negativist or it's a verbal tic of hers like you," said Kurama with a quirked eyebrow. "Might be the latter," thought Naruto. He felt his arms being pulled and saw that it's Alice and Shiori doing so. "Big brother, let's go and watch cartoons," said Alice eagerly. Shiori nodded in agreement. "Please, brother." "Okay, just take it easy with the pulling. Don't want my arms to get yanked off." Naruto allowed himself to be taken to the couch to watch TV with the girls. "Why don't you join them, Chiaki-chan?" "I'm sure it will be fun," Seal suggested. "Okay, I think." Chiaki went to join them and was welcomed. She even got surprised when Shiori sat on her lap since Alice was sitting on Naruto's lap as they started to watch. Sakura smiled at the happy scene and turned to see Seal also smiling, albeit rather sadly, which made her feel concerned. "What's the matter, Seal-san?" asked Sakura. "It's just that, this is the most active I've ever seen Chiaki act since I know her," said Seal sadly, seeing Chiaki being awkward but gradually getting used to Naruto and the others. "What do you mean?" "You see, due to a bad experience, Chiaki became scared of the outside world and secluded herself indoors with her only company being video games. She's a really smart girl as she gets high scores from her online classes, her parents, and I tried everything to help her, but nothing seems to work, even more so that the former had to constantly travel because of their work. After living with Naruto and seeing how he always seems to have a way of bringing out the best in those he interacts with, I hoped that having Chiaki spend time with him would help her greatly, and I can already see it working," Seal explained. She saw Naruto talking to Chiaki energetically and she would sleepily respond to him. Sakura clenched her fists with eyes full of determination. "He won't be the only one, I'll help her too." "Thank you very much, Sakura," said Seal gratefully. "I'll also placed that in your room while they weren't watching since you don't want them to know yet." "Thank you, Miss Seal." Later that night, everyone had gone to sleep, not exactly everyone. Sakura was seated in front of her computer, her fingers dancing on the keyboard rapidly and her eyes locked on to the screen. Next to the computer is her pet in its docking station while connected to it. "Okay, I'm all set up. Just need to insert the disk which Miss Seal brought for me. She said that it contains data for my new NetNavi, which has been designed to be compatible with me, and Dr. Hikari helped make it. Hopefully with this NetNavi, I can be of help to Naruto and the others." Sakura picked up the aforementioned disk and inserted it into the docking station before proceeding to execute the program. Installing core logic into PET, please wait. The progress bar was displayed and gradually reached 100%, installation complete. "Okay, let's see now." Sakura picked up her pet and turned the power on. Running program with new configurations. The pet displayed its usual main screen before suddenly going black. Sakura was confused at first and didn't know what to next when the screen turned back on. Second stage installation commencing. Rebumpered partitions have been fragmented. Program import completed. Now initiating customized program download. Estimated time for download completion, 3 hours. "I guess I'll have to check in the morning," said Sakura before getting off her seat after turning off the computer and going to bed. A few hours later, while Sakura is sleeping, the pet suddenly lit up with her being too deep asleep to notice. Customized program download completed, initiating data configuration. Multiple windows containing graphs, meters, alphanumeric characters and more filled up the entire screen with beeping sounds before closing up by themselves. Numerous bits of data appeared on the screen this time and began to take form. At a certain moment, 6 humanoid silhouettes appeared on the screen before fusing into one as the configuration neared its completion. The newly created NetNavi opened her eyes and looked down at her fingers, moving them around before checking the rest of her to make sure that they're capable of mobility. She looked through the screen toward Sakura as a smile graced her lips and could barely hold back a giggle. Sakura, Sakura, wake up, you sleepyhead. How long are you gonna be in slumberland when the sun's already up? A female voice called out to Sakura, who was still sleeping on her bed. The purple-haired girl groaned slightly as she began to open her eyes and sat up with her arms outstretched and a loud yawn, feeling her drowsiness gradually fade away. Yawn morning already? Who's that calling me? Asked Sakura, wondering who it was that woke her up since she normally wakes up by herself to prepare breakfast for herself and Seal since Naruto along with Alice and Shirori can't eat. Over here, inside your pet. Geez, I never would have thought that you would be hard to wake up. My pet? Oh right, I remember installing a new NetNavi last night. Gasp. Sakura looked at the docked pet and was shocked upon seeing who it is. You're. The female NetNavi smiled mischievously in response. Nice to see you again, guess you weren't expecting to see me, eh? BB. Sure enough, the NetNavi and Sakura's pet is none other than BB herself, who was supposed to have been recombined along with the other alter egos into Sakura during the incident at the island when the moon cell threatened to destroy the world. So, it's understandable for Sakura to be shocked by this. But how? Asked Sakura confusedly. BB playfully put on a pair of glasses and conjured a whiteboard whilst tapping it with her signature pointer. It would be because of Dr. Hikari, while he was creating the custom NetNavi which you had requested a while back. He installed data which he acquired from scanning your body with the intention of creating a NetNavi with a high level of affinity with you. Who else can be the best match besides us? Sakura blinked at the last part of the sentence. Us, what do you mean by that? I'm not the only one, the others are here too. BB snapped her fingers to make 5 black human-shaped silhouettes appear behind her, and Sakura recognizes them. I'm the main NetNavi but can SWCH out with them whenever you want us to. Also, Dr. Hikari helped adjust our programming so you won't have to worry so much about any kind of rebellion. If you say so, but please don't cause any problems. This is as much as a fresh start for you as it is for me. Of course, Naruto did go through a lot to do this for us after all. Plus, there's something which I need to check on him. What do you mean? Is there something wrong with Naruto? Asked Sakura worriedly. BB assured her, I'm not sure, I need to check first, then I'll let you know of it. By the way, aren't you supposed to be doing something right now? Oh no, I need to make breakfast. Sakura scrambled to get herself cleaned and rushed to the kitchen in order to prepare breakfast before the others woke up, much to BB's amusement, and she could sense the same for the others within her. Sometime later, Naruto and the others came out to the living room for Seal and Sakura to have their breakfast and be reminded of his digital form, then wonder when Lan's dad is going to help him get a real body. He's already battling ramen withdrawal symptoms, for goodness sake. The blonde cyber ninja then noticed Sakura occasionally looking at her pet while eating breakfast, which caught his attention. Nay, what's the matter, Sakura-chan? Is there something wrong with your pet? Asked Naruto curiously. Sakura was about to respond when a familiar voice called out from the pet. Hiya Naruto, I've really missed you. Naruto was taken aback. That voice, is that you, BB-chan? BB appeared on the screen with a happy smile. That's right, it's great to see you again. But how? Naruto asked Sakura. You see, the thing is that, Sakura went on to explain of her reason to obtain a NetNavi. Then BB followed up with how she was created by Dr. Hikari and that the other alter egos with some who he hadn't met before are living within her and can SWCH out with her. So, Passionlip-chan and Kazuradrop-chan are with you? Asked Naruto, having been sad when he heard what had happened to them after the moon cell incident until now. BB nodded in affirmation. Yup, and they're happy to be able to see you again. She could sense Passionlip's joy and Kazuradrop's contentment within her. Naruto smiled. I'm glad to hear that. So, what will you all be doing today since it's the weekend? Asked Seal curiously. On one hand, we were planning on going to check out Net City, while on the other hand, we could hang out with Lon and the others while introducing BB to them too, said Naruto thoughtfully. At that moment, his pet beeped to signal a video call, which he immediately answered to see that it's Lon who's calling him. Hey Lon, what's up? Hey Naruto, Yai's calling for us to hang out together and I was wondering if you want to join. Asked Lon. Sure thing, plus this is a chance for us to introduce Sakura-chan's new NetNavi to you guys, said Naruto. Really? I'll let the others know so that Yae can come and pick you guys up. Can't wait to meet the new NetNavi, said Lon before ending the video call. Naruto turned to Sakura and the others. Guess we'd better get ready for Yae to come over. Later on, Naruto and the others were riding Yae's pink limousine and watching the latest news which piqued their interest as Ms. Rabita broadcasts. And in other news, the multi-billionaire and snazzily dressed CEO of Gaus Incorporated has just flown into Dentech City this morning. As one of the most richest people in the entire world, Mr. Gaus has dedicated himself to investing in our word, and true to his words, he has already started by building state-of-the-art hospitals, multiplex theaters, even museums, and he has already made donations to several of our city's charities. Now that's what I call good news. Too bad there are rich people like Gaus, Rabita reported. Whoa, that guy's awesome, said Dex in awe with Lon nodding in agreement. Kinda sounds too good to be true in a way, said Naruto, seeing how the man is helping Dentech City with his money. But it is nice of him to do so, said Alice, who's using the holobrace while Shirori is inside the pet in the meantime. Yae however scoffed, silly man, you're supposed to spend money on yourself, not on other people. The others' sweat dropped at her belief. Rich have their own sense of values. By the way, Glide, isn't it almost time for my snack? Yes, Miss Yae, your chocolate cake is being flown in from the upper crust bakery, Glide responded in affirmation. Geez, just how rich is her family, thought Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. I doubt there's a limit, said Kurama. Torai then spoke up, have you guys heard about Higsby? He lost all of his money. He did? Asked Lon. I heard it too. The chip shop is closed down now, he had to sell it or something. Dex confirmed the statement to the others. The group headed over to the chip shop and sure enough, the entire place is completely empty with nothing belonging to Higsby remaining, much to the group's surprise as they looked around. No way, everything's totally gone. Lon exclaimed. I wonder where Higsby-san is now. Sakura wondered. If he's smart enough, looking for a new job right now, Yae retorted. The question being who's gonna hire a chip nerd like him? Dex pointed out to them. Alice was looking around when she saw something on the floor and picked it up to take a look. Hey, I found something and it looks like a map. Let me see. Naruto took the map from Alice and looked at it with the others peering over his shoulders. It looks like Higsby has relocated to somewhere else. Yeah, but the question being where, said Melu confusedly. Following the map, the group found out where the chip enthusiast went to, and boy were they surprised as they stood before a very tall tower with the Higsby logo placed on the sides. No way, Higsby actually built a new chip shop right in one of the most expensive places in the city. Lon exclaimed in shock. But I thought you said that he lost all his money, so how did this happen? Asked Naruto confusedly. I don't know, let's go inside and find out, Tori suggested. The group took the elevator to the top floor where Higsby's office is located, and they were again surprised by how large the place is as well as the swanky decor. They found Higsby sitting comfortably behind his desk and walked over to him. Higsby, what happened? Asked Lon, wanting to understand just how their friend got so rich. Higsby chuckled, if you think this is good, wait till you see the amazing view. He snapped his fingers to make the blinds unfold and reveal the view of city, much to the awe of the kid seeing it. Man, talk about nostalgia. Naruto was reminded of the view he often has whenever he sits atop the Hokage mountain at sunrise or sunset. And just look at one of my rare chips. Higsby gestures to the wall where they saw a gold-tinted battle chip framed on the wall. Yae immediately recognizes it. That's a rarity level 5 chip, how did you ever get it? There's only one more valuable chip and that's the platinum version of the poltergeist, said Yae. And it's all mine. So, who's in a mood for an in-between snack? What Higsby served knocked Yae right off the loop, as it was the upper crust bakery's famous strawberry chocolate swirl cake, which can't be called a snack as it's the most expensive dessert in the world when she had Glide order for a chocolate cake earlier before. When asked how he got this much money to do all this, the answer they all got was, I got the money from the bank, of course. On their way from Higsby's new chip shop, Lon and the others were chatting amongst themselves about their friend's recent ascension to wealth. I don't know what Higsby's doing, but he must be doing something right, said Lon. I just hope that he invites us to have some more of that cake, said Dex, with Tori nodding eagerly in agreement. Such desserts are a luxury to them and just as rare. Yai growled lowly at having been shown up by Higsby of all people. She's supposed to be wowing her friends with what she can do with her money. She was snapped out of her thoughts when Glide called out to her from the pet. What's the matter, Glide? Asked Yai curiously. Said NetNavi appears to be uncertain for some reason. There's a slight trouble with your electric money card. What do you mean by that? I tried to buy the things you wanted in Net City but couldn't. I'm afraid that your account is completely empty, Glide explained. Yai frowned upon hearing this. That's impossible, let me show you. She attached a swipe slot into her pet and then pushes a button on the armrest of her set to make a panel open up for a long row of numerous electric money cards to appear. I have a couple of cards here. A couple of dozen you mean, Lon commented. Looks more than that, Lon, Naruto added, feeling a bit scared to even imagine just how much is in each of those cards. Yai took one of the cards and swiped it only to reveal the balance to be 0 zennies, 0. No way, I've still got more. She took another card and swiped it, 0. This is ridiculous. One more. 0. Maybe this one. 0. Or this one. 0. How about this one? 0. This can't be happening to me. Everyone watched in silence as Yai kept swiping card after but kept getting the same results, and this was making her to start panicking, as this has never happened to her before, especially with how successful her father's company is. My last card. Yai swiped the card with the hope that it at least contains money, but to no avail. It can't be, I've ran out of all my money. Glide, would you please explain what's going on to me this minute? Miss Yai, it gets worse. I just learnt that Ayanoteka's money has gone missing too, said Glide worriedly, shocking everyone in the limo. All of our money is gone. Yai looked like she was about to faint from hearing such words, which should have been highly unlikely for her family. How's this possible? Asked Sakura. I believe that's what we all want to know, said Naruto with a frown. Yai sits alone on a swing in the playground as the sun gradually sets. It's been about a week ever since Ayanoteka had lost its money. I couldn't ride in her limo anymore and had to go to school on her scooter, eat regular cafeteria food instead of her usual 5-star cuisine, and all this was getting both her and Glide down in the dumps for feeling so regular and not unique. Hey Yai, she looked up to see Lon and the others standing before her while he holds out a bottle of cold strawberry milk. Here, this ought to cheer you up, said Lon assuredly. Oh thank you. Yai took the bottle and drank the strawberry milk only to spit it back out. This isn't imported but the cheap stuff. This made everyone face fault at her reaction. Then again, they should have expected this from her. Come on Yai, you can't really expect us to buy imported stuff with our current allowance. We're just trying to help you feel better, Naruto pointed out to her. I'm sorry, it's that I'm not used to being a regular kid like everyone else, said Yai sadly. We can understand, but what I don't get is how someone as rich as you suddenly lose all your money and Higsby then gets rich, said Tori with a small frown. Maybe Higsby is smarter than we thought he was. Naruto frowned. I don't buy it, something's going on and we need to figure it out. But how? Asked Lon. First, to the secret base. Naruto declared as he pointed at the direction to his apartment. Oh, just like in that cartoon, said Alice excitedly. Sounds like we're about to do some detective work, said Megaman. In that case, sign me up, said Lon eagerly. Upon going to Naruto's apartment, the group sat down in the living room as they began their investigation, with Naruto starting things up. In my world, Kakashi-sensei once said this: when encountering suspicion, the ninja prepares quickly. Hesitation leads to disaster. The current situation pretty much calls for that saying. We need to start identifying the pieces so we can know how to put them together to get a clear picture, said Naruto. So, where do we start? Asked Dex. We could start with Ayanoteka and what we know about it, said Tori. Well, HAREM is a world-famous video game company owned Yai's father and are one of the richest families in the world, said Roll. Was one of the richest families in the world, said Glide in depression. Don't lose heart, Glide. Now the next question would what could be the cause for the lost money, was it bad sales or something, asked Sakura. Yai spoke up, I asked Daddy and he said there weren't any bad sales or stuff like that. If so, then how exactly did HAREM lose its money since it's all in the bank? I mean it's supposed to be the safest place to keep your digital money, said Meilu. Digital money, that's it. Sakura suddenly had an epiphany. Did you figure something out, big sis Sakura? Asked Alice curiously. Yes, I realize that since the money isn't physical but rather digital. It's possible that someone might be messing with the bank's data, which would result in people having their money taken from their accounts and sent elsewhere, Sakura explained. So that means someone's been stealing money from other people's accounts in the bank's database. Lon exclaimed. That would also explain why several large companies have been forced to close up shop, judging from the news, said Tori. But the question is, how do we stop them? I seriously doubt that the bank staff would allow a couple of kids with no authority to jack into their database to find the thief, said Dex doubtfully. How about you ask your friend Chad? BB suggested. Chad, why him? Asked Lon confusedly. Besides being the president of Blaze Quest, Chad is also a net official, which means that he has the needed authority to access the bank's database. Plus, he and Protoman should able to deal with whoever is behind this. Megaman added. Alright then, let's call him. Lon immediately made a video call to Chad, who answered it. What is it, Lon? This better not be a social call, said Chad sternly. Not at all, there's something we need to talk to you about. Which is what exactly? Lon and the others proceeded to fill Chad in on what's going on and what they were able to figure out. Chad frowned upon hearing their information. You do realize that this is all pure conjecture with no actual proof. We know, but we also need you to check just in case. Whoever's doing this has been targeting large companies like HAREM, and there's a chance that they might target yours. For all we know, this could be the work of Grail, Naruto pointed out to Chad. Protoman and I will take a look just to make sure. Thanks Chad, we appreciate it, said Lon. Humph. Sure then. Chad ended the video call. Well, that takes care of it, but is there something else? Asked Sakura. How? About checking the stock prices? Roll suggested. Why that? Asked Dex. Roll-san has the right idea. Remember that a stock price enables one to tell whether company is performing well or poorly. A different voice spoke up and everyone turned to see that BB had switched out with Kazudrop now. Kazudrop-chan, it's great to see you again, said Naruto happily. Kazudrop smiled fondly at Naruto. It is good to see you as well. I hope you can join me for a cup of tea sometime. Sure will. So how exactly does observing the stock prices help us? Asked Dex. Considering the fact that many large companies have been losing money, we need to look for the one company that hasn't lost any money in the past week and performs better than the other companies, Kazudrop explained. I get it now, let's take a look then, said Lon. Glide spoke up. I've already done so and noticed that one company had never underperformed throughout the past week. Which company is it? Asked Yai. It's Higsby's chip shop. What? Meanwhile at the Dentech City Bank, Chad was being escorted to the bank's database by one of the banking staff members. I can assure you Mr. Blaze that there is absolutely no problem with the bank's money protection system, said the staff member. So you say, but I would still like to take a look at the computer which controls the whole system, said Chad. Are you sure about this, Chad? Asked Protoman, wanting to make sure of the decision of his Netop. Besides Lon and the others' request, something's been bugging about all this. It's too odd for HAREM to start losing money just as Higsby starts gaining money without anything to show for it. This can't be a coincidence since they brought this up too, Chad explained. Arriving at the computer room, Chad brought out his pet and pulled his USB cable, jack in Protoman, power up. He inserted the cable into the port, transmitting Protoman into the bank's cyberspace, which looks like the digital version of a library's archives. Inside the cyber world. Protoman glanced around cautiously when he caught sight of movement amongst the archive and his wariness increased. Chod was also aware as he immediately takes out a battle chip from his chip pouch. Cyber Sword battle chip in, and download. Chod inserted the aforementioned chip as Protoman's right arm transformed into a red energy blade he held at the ready. He waited calmly before suddenly turning around and slashing at something from behind, which actually made contact as he heard a grunt of pain before something revealed itself to be a NetNavi. He's a male NetNavi with a large muscular physique while adorned with a red magnet-shaped armor with white buttons on it, red bracers with white circular parts, gray cylindrical leg armor with white circular parts, white boots, and also a magnet-shaped helmet. Looks like Lon and the others were right after all. Time to nip this problem in the bud, said Chod with a smile. Humph, nice moves, but it will also be your last one, said the NetNavi. I beg to differ. Protoman attacked with another slash of his cyber sword, but the NetNavi darted backwards to evade the attack and then raised his hands in preparation for an attack. Save the fancy swordplay for later, Protoman. You have no chance against me. He was about to attack when he hears his Netop call out to him. Return immediately, I can't risk my identity being revealed. Log out now, said the Netop. The NetNavi sighed in disappointment before turning to Protoman. Consider this your lucky day, you won't be so lucky next time. Then he logged out before Protoman could stop him. Wait. Protoman tried to go after him. Forget about him for now, I want to know who sent him, said Chod with a frown. Real world. Later that night at Higsby's new chip shop, he was busy shining one of his battle chips with a look of contentment when his telephone started to ring, which answered. Hello, Higsby's chip shop, said Higsby. It's me, said a male voice through the telephone. Oh, it's my investor. Yes, but listen, I have reasons to believe that someone may try to break into the building tonight and steal all of your rare battle chips. I suggest that you trust no one. Oh no, not my rare battle chips, said Higsby in a panic. At that moment, his pet started beeping, which he answered after putting the telephone's receiver down. The screen lit up to reveal Lon alongside Naruto and the rest of the group. Higsby, it's us. Let us in, we need to talk to you, said Lon. Lon and the others, but what are they doing here this late at night? Higsby then realized something. Aha, you must be the thieves coming to steal my precious battle chips. And to top it all off, you dressed up as Lon and the others to deceive me. Well, you can't fool me. What are you talking about, Higsby? Asked Melu in confusion. Nice try, imposters, but there's no way I'm going to fall for your tricks. It's a good thing that my investor warned me in time about you. Quit talking nonsense, we're here to find out about the missing money and you're going to tell us. Said Yai angrily. And you're even trying to steal money too, eh? Well, too bad, 'cause all my money is in the bank. Higsby declared before cutting the transmission. Why did he call us imposters? Asked Sakura confusedly. It would seem that this so-called investor lied to him about us. This could only mean that we're on the right track, said Kazuradrop. Then she sensed something. It appears that Passionlip wishes to come out and help. I'll leave the rest to her. She was then encased in a cocoon of data which dissipated to reveal Passionlip in her place, now wearing new clothing, being a blouse and catsuit that cover her chest. Hello everyone. Passionlip waved a large hand shyly and brightened upon seeing Naruto, who smiled at her. Alright Lon, jack me in so I can access the elevator, said Megaman. Okay then. Lon plugged the pet into the elevator system and soon they were ascending to the top floor. The moment the elevator doors opened, the group were surprised to see Higsby rushing towards them with long wooden brush in hand to attack them. Go away, you thieving imposters. Higsby declares as he's about to attack. Higsby, wait. Melu called out to stop him, but to no avail. Right as Higsby attacks, Naruto countered with a punch which broke the brush and sent it spinning into the air before coming down, then clunking him in the head, knocking him unconscious. Oh no, is he alright? Asked Passionlip worriedly. Tori went to check on Higsby. Seems like he only got knocked out. Well, serves him right for trying to attack us, said Yai with a scoff. While he's still out, let's take a look around, Lon suggested and receiving agreement from the others. The group searched the office for anything suspicious before checking Higsby's desk, which has several ports for them to jack into. Since we aren't finding anything out here, let's check the database, said Naruto as he brought out his pet and prepared to transmit. Alright then. Jack in. Megaman, power up. Lon called out. Here I go. Jack in. Passionlip, power up. Sakura calls out for the first time. Jacking in and powering up. Naruto called out last. The trio inserted their cables into the ports and transmitted their NetNavis into the office's cyberspace to continue their investigation on the matter, while the rest checked on Higsby to make sure that he's doing alright. Inside the cyber world. The trio appeared in the cyberspace when they saw something rushing towards them, which appears to be a horseshoe-shaped red magnet that exploded upon impact and creating a cloud of smoke. The red NetNavi from before appeared, smirking that he managed to land his surprise attack on the meddling NetNavis at the moment they appeared in the cyberspace. The NetNavi waited for the smoke to clear, only to be shocked upon seeing the 3 NetNavis that were supposed to be deleted are encased in a blue energy dome, completely unscathed, much to his confusion. How did you 3? Asked the red NetNavi. That would be thanks to me, Naruto spoke up. I reacted just in time to slot in a barrier battle chip to protect everyone. I see, your Netop is quite skilled. Yeah, so who are you? Megaman inquired. The name's Magnetman and I'm a force of nature, the NetNavi introduced himself. Magnetman? Now I get it, he must have been using his magnetic powers to mess with the bank's data. And it also confirms that Grail is behind all this, Naruto added with a frown. You are correct, Grail orchestrated everything. A male voice suddenly spoke up, but they couldn't see who it is. But I get to conduct your final farewell performance, as your screams of despair will be music to my ears. We beg to differ, Naruto retorted as he unsheathes his chakra blade from the back of his waist. We won't let you continue to steal money from the bank, said Sakura with a frown. We'll see about that, do delete them, Magnetman. You know how much I dislike a drawn-out performance, said the mysterious Netop. At once, MSTR. To me, heel novice. Magnetman called out before several heel novice appeared behind him. In Grail, the concept of fairness does not exist. We'll see about that, let's do this, guys. Said Lon. Right, the net novice prepares for a cyber battle. Get them. Magnetman ordered for the heel novice to attack, which they complied as they charged towards the trio while arming themselves with cyber swords, busters, and mini-bombs, which they threw the latter first. Use this, Megaman. Shotgun. Battle chip in, download. Lon quickly slotted in a battle chip, then Megaman's right forearm transforms into a blaster as he launches a barrage of energy bullets to destroy the mini-bombs heading their way. The other heel novice returned fire with their busters as Naruto charges towards them, all the while darting from side to side and also utilizing the chakra blade in a reverse grip to skillfully deflect some of the incoming projectiles in order to draw close enough for an attack. Chakra blade wave. Naruto channeled chakra through the blade, then swung it to launch a horizontal blue crescent wave of energy to take down some of the heel novice, but the others dodged by using area steel and attacked him with cyber swords. Naruto took out his Vorpal sword to dual wield as he constantly deflects and dodges the incoming slashes before dashing backwards away from the opposition for a battle chip. Grand Fireball. Jutsu battle chip in, download. See Naruto slotted in the aforementioned chip into the pet. Naruto's face mask opened up as he took in a deep breath that his stomach bulged slightly before launching a giant fireball to burn several more heel novice that weren't able to get out of the way in time. It's our turn, Passionlip. Shockwave. Battle chip in, download. Sakura slotted in the battle chip into her pet. Passionlip raised an arm above her head before swinging down to slam her gigantic nails onto the ground to send 5 vertical shockwaves rushing towards some of heel novice. Managing to hit a few with the others leaping into the air to dodging, then retaliated by firing energy blasts with their busters, but Passionlip positioned her hands in front of her to block the incoming projectiles and not suffering any damage. Passionlip clenched her fist before launching it off her arm like a missile, striking the enemies several times before flying back into her arm. Take that. Sakura smiled as out of all the alter egos, Passionlip has a pacifistic nature and yet she's willing to fight alongside others, which goes to show that she's been changing since the Moon Cell incident, and it's most likely because of Naruto. Let's target Magnet Man next. Vulcan. Battle chip in, download. Lon slotted in a battle chip for Mega Man's right forearm to transform into a Gatling gun as he took aim at Magnet Man and opened fire. Magnet Barrier. Magnet Man held his hands out in front of him to generate an energy dome around himself to defend against Mega Man's attack before retaliating with his own attack, Mag Missile. He deploys several magnet-shaped missiles towards the meddling net novice. Heads up, we have incoming. Naruto called out in alert as he and Mega Man darted out of the way of the incoming mag missiles while Passionlip deflected them with her large talons. He's trying to sneak his attacks at us while we fight the heel novice. Then we need to clear them out quickly, said Mega Man while firing his Mega Buster at some of the heel novice to keep them away from the trio. You can leave that to me. Naruto switched out his weapons for the Aurum Blade and had it transformed to the Palutena Bow. The Cyber Ninja made the motion of pulling back a bowstring as an arrow of blue energy appeared, then, hailstorm of arrows. He aimed the arrow skyward and fired as it shot into the air before descending towards the heel novice whilst duplicating itself into a massive number of arrows, with the resulting impact throwing up a cloud of dust before dissipating to reveal that they've all been deleted. Good work, Maelstrom. Now it's left for us to deal with Magnet Man, said Lon, relieved that those heel novice have been dealt with. Don't delude yourself by thinking that you can defeat my Magnet Man, said the unknown Netop with annoyance. That's what you think. Let's go, Mega Man. Cyber Sword. Battle chip in, and download. Lon equipped Mega Man with a Cyber Sword. Right behind you. Fires word. Battle chip in, download. See, Naruto equipped Naruto with a fire elemental sword. Then the duo rushed towards Magnet Man with the intent to engage the grave NetNavi in close combat. I don't think so, Magnet Line. Magnet Man punched the ground, making a red line shoot across the ground towards the duo. The moment they stepped on the line, before they could react, the duo found themselves stuck on it. We can't move. Naruto struggled to free himself, but it feels like his feet have been glued to the floor, and the same could be said for Mega Man. He must be using his magnetic powers through that red line, preventing Maelstrom and Mega Man from moving, said Tori in alert. You need to help them, Sakura, said Meilu urgently. Hold on. Ratten. Battle chip in, download. Sakura quickly slotted the battle chip into her pet, creating several rattans which zipped towards the magnet line and remotely denoting them to damage it. This disrupted the magnet line's power and freed Naruto and Mega Man. What? Magnet Man couldn't believe what just happened. We can move now, said Mega Man. Yeah, now let's get him. Naruto dashed towards Magnet Man. I need a battle chip. On it. Flash bomb. Battle chip in, download. See, Naruto slotted in the battle chip for Naruto to create an orb resembling a flashbulb which he flung at Magnet Man's feet, releasing a bright flash of light which blinded the NetNavi. I can't see. That's the point. Naruto slashed Magnet Man several times before darting backwards for Mega Man to jump in and attack with a powerful diagonal slash which knocked Magnet Man down to the ground. No. This can't be happening. The unknown Netop exclaimed in denial. Oh, but it is. You're gonna pay for stealing my company's money, said Yae angrily. Time. To finish this, Cyber Shuriken. Naruto generated multiple shuriken in both hands before throwing them towards Magnet Man with the intent to defeat him once and for all. Suddenly, someone jumped in between the two, then took the attack head-on, only to emerge completely unscathed, much to the shock of Naruto and the others, having not expected the sudden appearance of another NetNavi who appears to be helping Magnet Man. Before the trio is a sturdy humanoid NetNavi with a blue helmet, a blue torso with a yellow orb on front, blue shoulder pads, black arms, gray hands, black legs and blue boots. Sigh, why should I be doing strenuous things like this? said the unknown NetNavi tiredly. Who are you? Asked Naruto, wary of the new enemy. I am Hardman, a member of Grave, and I'm here to help Magnet Man. Oh, this is gonna be a drag, the NetNavi introduced himself. Naruto froze upon hearing the last part of his sentence, finding it all too familiar since he's heard so many times from his friend Shikamaru, whom he knows to be very lazy and finds almost everything to be troublesome, even giving up a match during the Chunin exams because it's too troublesome to bother himself winning. Geez, never would have thought that I would find a NetNavi version of Shikamaru here in this world. What were the odds, thought Naruto. Stay focused, now's not the time for nostalgia, said Kurama sternly. Right. Now Hardman, aid Magnet Man with deleting those foolish net novice. The unknown Netop commanded. Alright, this is gonna be a drag though, Hardman sighed lazily. Then I hope you won't mind if we get in on the action. A voice spoke up as another NetNavi landed next to Naruto and the others this time, and they recognized who it is. Protoman and Chod. Yai was surprised as they saw Chod exit from the elevator. You were right about Magnet Man messing with the bank data, and so we pursued to this place, Chod explained. Alright, now we got this in the bag, said Lon cheerfully. In that case, Passionlip and I will handle Hardman while you two face Magnet Man, said Naruto, moving next to Passionlip as they turned to Hardman, who hardly looks motivated to do anything but didn't let down their guard. Megaman nodded in affirmation. Gotcha, it's Mega time. I'll take point. Naruto dashes forward as he take aim with the Aurum blade and fires several energy blasts only for them to bounce off Hardman's body. In that case, he switched to blade mode and attacked with a diagonal slash. Hardman calmly blocked the incoming slash with a raised forearm and didn't so much as flinch from the hit, much to the cyber ninja's growing frustration. "So guess it's my turn then, hard palm." Hardman attacked with a palm move which sent Naruto flying backwards, but he managed to recover in midair to land on the ground with a skid from the force of the attack. "Maelstrom, are you okay?" asked Passionlip worriedly. "Yeah, but that attack is pretty powerful," Naruto muttered to himself. "Then let's try this. Rock Bullet. Jutsu Battle Chip in, download." See Naruto slotted in the battle chip, Naruto forms a hand sign as a giant boulder appears before him, then launches at Hardman. Hard Knuckle. Hardman detaches his fist, launching it for a rocket-powered punch which smashes through the giant boulder and continues to attack. Maelstrom, watch out. Passionlip launches her own fist, making it intercept as both fists collided, which resulted in a radial shockwave before flying back to their owners and reattaching to their arms. Hard Stomp, activating the boosters on his lower waist, Hardman launched himself into the air and came falling towards the duo, who darted out of the way in time as he stomped on the ground and triggered a tremor which seemed to stun them for a moment. Cannon. Battle Chip in, download. See Naruto equipped Naruto with a cannon as he launched several powerful rounds at Hardman, but it didn't seem to inflict that much damage like they wanted. "Geez, is this guy a tank or something?" asked Dex confusedly. "I'm getting the impression of that to be the case. He's able to take hits and come on going," said Melu. "Then I just need to attack with a lot of power which he can't shrug off," said Naruto with a small frown as he glances at the chakra blade which is still charging up. Then he shifted the Aurum blade to the Taurus arm. "Will keep attacking until I can access the overflow state. I can use my noble phantasm, but it will take some time before it's ready to be used," Passionlip added. "We'll just have to hold out until then," said Naruto. Over with Megaman and Protoman, the duo were dealing with Magnet Man, who revealed to be capable of creating a blue copy of himself, which Lon commented to be a knockoff version of Naruto's shadow clone technique, but it didn't make them any less dangerous to face. Magnet Man tried using the magnet line again to restrain the duo, but Lon was ready as he used a Meteor 9 battle chip to destroy the magnet line for Chod to give Protoman an Aqua Blade battle chip to strike both the red and blue Magnet Man consecutive times. Here's another. Spreader. Battle Chip in, download. Lon slotted a new battle chip into his pet for Megaman to fire a constant barrage of energy bullets. Magnet Barrier. Both Magnet Man protected themselves against the energy bullets and countered with their own attack, Mag Ball, they both launched ball of purple electricity towards the duo. I don't think so, Protoshield. Protoman summoned his shield to block the attacks and send them flying right back to hit the two Magnet Man, knocking them back. Time to finish them off once and for all. The unknown Netop commanded. Right, initiating north-south tackle, the red and blue Magnet Man dashed forward simultaneously to attack both Protoman and Megaman. Time for the program advance, Chod. Lon declared. Very well then, Chod replied. Program advance. Lon, Chod along with their NetNavi spoke at the same time. Cyber Sword. Battle chip in, download. Both boys slotted the same chip with Megaman and Protoman's right arms morphing into blades. Wide Sword. Battle chip in, download. This time it was their left arms transforming into a blade with a wide hilt. Long Sword. Battle chip in, download. Then they raised both blades into the air as they merged into a single purple blade. Life Sword. Megaman and Protoman swung their attacks as they launched forward and both aimed for the red Magnet Man. The blue Magnet Man saw this and tackled him out of the way while getting hit instead. He saved me, Magnet Man muttered in shock at the sacrifice of his other side before being logged out by his Netop out of fear of him being deleted as well. Back with Naruto and Passionlip, the duo were holding their own against Hardman, who kept tanking their strikes. Passionlip proved to be a vital partner in the battle as she possesses great strength to match up or even surpass Hardman's own, while Naruto peppered the opposing NetNavi with attacks of his own as well as with shadow clones to divide his attention. But Hardman wasn't exactly feeling the pressure due to his superb defense and continues to keep the pressure on the duo. Naruto dashes backwards and glances at his chakra blade to see that the leaf symbol is glowing to signal that it has finally charged up as he put away the Aurum blade and Vorpal sword to bring it out of its sheath. Finally, it's ready. Naruto immediately tapped on the symbol for the blade to surge with chakra as it took on the form of an elongated sword in the overflow state. We're ready too, said Sakura. Alright then, let's do this. Naruto proceeds to one-handedly spin the chakra blade horizontally above his head several times, then performing a jumping downward/launch a large wave of chakra that slammed into Hardman and for the first time in his life suffered critical damage as a wide gash is visible on his chest with bit of data leaking out of it. How could this be? It's impossible. Hardman muttered in disbelief, his hand on the wound while down on one knee. It's our turn now. Activating Noble Phantasm, Brynhild Romantia. Sakura called out. Passionlip launches both of her talons as they flew towards Hardman and began to pummel him with rocket-powered punches from all directions while she calmly approaches the NetNavi. The talons flew back to reattach to her arms as she then positioned them in front of her, giving the appearance of a giant steel trap as she made them bite down on Hardman, effectively deleting the NetNavi. Real world. Alright, we got M. Lon cheered alongside the others while Chod smiled with satisfaction. Sakura was also pleased with her first ever victory in a net battle, for she's finally able to help her new friends, but then she noticed that Passionlip had a look of concern and was about to ask her when they heard a voice behind them. Aha, it's the imposters as well as another one. They looked back to see that Higsby is awakened and about to attack them again. Dex groaned, oh not again with this. Lon. Megaman suddenly called out to the others, gaining their attention. What is it, Megaman? Asked Lon confusedly. Our attack from before has revealed a hidden access to another floor above us, we'd better check out and see what's there. At that moment, the whole room began to shake, then they saw a large panel and a slide sideways to reveal a hidden staircase leading upwards to the aforementioned floor. I bet that this will lead us to the person controlling Magnet Man, said Tori. Come on. Chod took the lead as he ran up the stairs with the other following after him, including an obviously confused Higsby. They reached the top to find themselves in a very large room covered in darkness, but there was a bit of light which allowed them to see the other end, where they saw someone sitting before a large piano and soon recognized who it is. It's Gaus. So that means, Tori came to a realization with the same for the others. Gaus smirked at them. I was the one who orchestrated everything. It now makes a lot of sense since this whole thing started when you showed up, said Melu. And I bet that you used the money you stole to do all those things to make yourself look like the good guy so that no one would suspect you, said Yi angrily. Chod stepped forward with a frown. Well, it's over now because we're taking you to the police to answer for your crimes. I don't think so. Gaus pushed a button on his piano which caused the entire room to shift and change as a strange flying aircraft formed around Gaus and his piano then proceeded to take off. You're on the news all the time, you can't hide. And tell your friends at Grave that we'll stop you, said Lon angrily. Higsby was surprised to hear that. Grave? But he's my business partner and this isn't going to be good for me, is it? Oh, just my luck. Gaus sneered at them. Nice try but you got nothing, Magnet Man already erased the evidence in the bank's data. Ha 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 ha, he laughed whilst flying away into the night with Naruto and the others looking on with frowns on their faces. A few days, things pretty much went back to normal now that Graves' plans were foiled. Stock prices are stable and Ayanotech is back in business. Yi was so happy with being rich again that she treated everyone to a world-class meal which was torture for Naruto who still can't eat, so she made it up for him by providing several rare battle chips for him to use. But not everything ended well for others. Turns out that Gaus did indeed erase the evidence from the bank data and so no one knows who caused the money theft. Also Gaus left the country but Naruto and Ko know full well that this won't be the last they see of him or Grave for that matter. And one more thing. Higsby's new shop closed down due to the revelation of Gaus's crimes and it was now back to the drawing board for the poor guy. Sometime later in the night, Sakura was in her with BB after everyone had gone to sleep. There was something that the former wanted to talk to her NetNavi about since there wasn't a chance to do so earlier before. Can you tell me what it was that has you and the others so concerned? I noticed that you've all been observing Naruto far more than usual these days, Sakura inquired curiously. BB sighed. Passionlip noticed something on Naruto which has us rather concerned. What was it? For a moment, we saw command seals on the back of his right hand. Sakura's eyes widened upon what she heard. Command seals. But that would mean that a fragment of the Holy Grail found its way into Naruto's body, and I fear that those net novice that were involved in the Moon Cell tournament might have fragments in them as well. Oh no. We need to keep an eye on them and make sure that things don't spiral out of control, said BB in a serious tone which is rare for her. Sakura nodded in affirmation. She was hoping that the matter of the Moon Cell would be left behind in the past, but it would seem that her past is coming back to haunt her and she has no intention of letting her new life be ruined by that. It's a fine morning in AC/DC town where we find Melu, Dex, Tori, and Yi having gathered around the bus stop, and it seems like they're planning to go somewhere judging by how the first three are carrying rucksacks while the latter intends to have hers simply delivered to where they're going today. Geez, how long are they going to make us wait, said Yi with a huff. Don't worry, Yi. I'm pretty sure that they'll be here soon, said Melu assuredly. Hey guys. Turning towards the voice, they saw Naruto on his skateboard as well as Alice and Sakura on their scooters, albeit the latter carrying a rucksack on her back as they approached Melu and the others. Sorry for the lateness, we were helping Sakura pack stuff for the camping trip which was a bit much for her to carry, Naruto explained to them. Sakura pouted cutely. It was that much. Sakura-nichan, Big Brother had to use his seals to increase the size and make the bag lighter for you to carry the things you put in, Alice pointed out, making Sakura feel a bit embarrassed. That just leave one more person and it doesn't surprise me as to who it is, said Roll. At that moment, Lon showed up last while rolling on his skates since he wanted to meet with them as soon as possible. Sorry that I'm late, I kinda overslept, said Lon apologetically. And we don't even need to guess that Megaman tried to wake you many times until he finally succeeded, said Melu with a deadpan expression. Not for the lack of trying, Megaman commented. Dex then spoke up, well, all that is behind us, now that we're here. Let's wait for the bus to show up to get us to Okuden Valley for our camping trip. And by the way, I'll be the leader of this group. Have you gone camping before? Asked Sakura curiously. Of course, I went a few times with my parents. I'm pretty good at it, said Dex proudly, but the others felt skeptical about his claims. Well, I've camped a couple times before whenever I go on missions, which takes me out of the village, so I can help out here and there, said Naruto. Guess we can make you advisor, then, said Tori sarcastically. Look, the bus is here, said Alice, alerting the others. Like she said, the bus came from around the corner and slowed down to a stop before the children as they eagerly got inside the public vehicle and took their seats with great anticipation for their destination as the bus took off down the road. After what felt like hours on the road, they had finally arrived at the entryway leading to Okuden Valley, which is a deeply forested area with flora and fauna, where the animals live freely with no worries of poaching, and the rolling mountains in the distance makes for appealing scenery. Wow, this feels so nostalgic, said Naruto looking at the forest, feeling like he was back home. Look over here. Lon calls the others over to a large map on display. According to this, we can reach the campgrounds by following the dirt path leading from the entrance here. There's even a dam further beyond the campgrounds. That must be the Okuden hydroelectric dam, which supplies power and clean water to various cities. We were given homework to write about it, said Alice. Dex spoke up impatiently. That's nice to know, but first we need to get to the campground. Then a familiar voice spoke up. Then I hope you wouldn't mind if I tag along. The group turned around and most recognized her. Sally, what are you doing here? I thought you would be busy at your flower shop, asked Melu confusedly. I normally take a week off every now and then to ease myself of the stress which builds up over time from work, among other things, Sal explained to the group. Being an adult must be tough, Lon commented. Plus I've been here many times and could show you some interesting things on the way to the campgrounds. It wasn't like we were going to refuse. You're more than welcome to join us, said Sakura politely. Sal smiles in response, thanks very much. However, there's a much more important reason for her being here. As it turns out, Commander Beef had informed her and her fellow net agents of a potential threat by Grave, with their target being the Okuden Dam, as the failed attempt on the waterworks was some sort of test. Not only that, they also learned of Lon and his friends going camping at the Okuden Valley, and they could be of help to her as they've done so several times in the past. With a new addition to the group, they set off for the campgrounds. Along the way, Sally would show them various plants and animals which they had never been taught about by Ms. Mari at school. Naruto, on the other hand, was fighting back to leap through the trees like he often does, since he couldn't do so in the city to avoid getting exposed to the public. They were snapped out of their thoughts upon hearing footsteps from the bushes before someone stepped out onto the dirt path. He's a man with brown hair and wears a pair of glasses. He also wears a green cap with a yellow boomerang logo on the front, a long-sleeved red jacket with white hem on the bottom, black pants and black shoes, and he carries a black backpack. Sal seems to know this person as she eagerly approaches him. Dave, is that you? Said person smiles in response. Long time no see, Sal. It's been so long since we last met. You know this person? Asked Yi curiously. Of course I do. This is Dave, and he's my childhood friend who loves nature as much as I do. Sal introduces her childhood friend to Lon and the others. Now you're just exaggerating. How about I show you guys around after you've set yourselves up over at the campgrounds, said Dave. Are you sure? Sal said she would show us around too, Melu pointed out. Sure, as a forest ranger, I can show you places which even Sal doesn't know, Dave assures them. Well, you're the expert, Dave. So I can pass the baton to you then, said Sal fondly. After bidding Dave farewell for now, the group went on their way and soon arrived at the campsite, where there are already campers in the area, judging by the tents, packages and gas stoves for outdoor cooking with a river nearby. Alright everyone, let's get started by setting up the tents, then we make preparations for barbecue, said Dex. As you command, fearless leader, said Lon sarcastically, while Naruto and Tori started taking out the tents from the backpacks to get started. We'll start on the cooking, Sakura said, with Yae and Melu agreeing to help her. There were a few fumbles with the tents, but Naruto was there to help them since he set up tents before, and soon they were done and none of the tents collapsed. On the other hand, Sakura and the girls were making progress with the ingredients. Melu had forgotten to bring the cooking knife, but Sakura came prepared and had a few extra with her. There was also an issue with the gas stove as it wasn't functioning properly, so Melu and Yai jacked in to find viruses messing with it and had roll and glide deal with them to have the stove working again. Yai then called out to the boys, "Hey, would you mind catching some fish for us?" "Fish, but don't we have enough meat?" asked Lon confusedly. "Even a prim and proper lady like me needs to have culinary options available. So why don't you go and get some for us? Either that or you're still affected by when Yazoo hypnotized everyone into thinking they're animals," thought Lon with a sweat drop, recalling how Yai started acting like a cat and Dex being like a gorilla. Naruto then spoke up, "I think I can do something about that, but I'm gonna need a couple of knives first." "Can we come and watch, big brother?" Alice asked hopefully. "Sure, you can come," said Naruto while receiving some knives from Sakura before they set off further up the streams to where no one would be able to see them. "So, what are you going to do?" asked Shiori curiously. "First, I'll need to create some clones." Naruto created some clones who modified themselves to wear swimming trunks as they dove into the river, much to Alice and Shiori's confusion, now to just wait for the right moment. Underneath the water, the clones were swimming after the schools of fish and forcing them to swim up to the surface and jump out in a panic. Now, Naruto immediately starts throwing the knives that struck the fishes in midair and pinned them to the tree trunks from across the river. Nothing to it, the clones pop out to the surface with smiles on their faces before they dispel themselves. "That's so amazing, we've never seen anything like it," Alice exclaims with awe. Shiori felt the same way. "Well, it took a lot of practice and a jutsu before I was able to do this effectively without messing up," said Naruto, feeling proud seeing how his surrogate sisters are looking at him with admiration. "Alright then, let's get these back to the others." Alice nods in affirmation, "Okay." After gathering the fish, the surrogate siblings made their way back to the campsite where the others were surprised to see so many acquired in such a short time. Naruto teasingly told them that he has his own style of fishing and Dex declares him to be the go-to guy for fishing whenever they come for camping. With full stomachs, they met up with Dave again, who took them on a special tour of his own, taking them to see even more wildlife and flora which Sal was surprised to see. But then, "What was that noise?" asked Melu confusedly. They all looked around and saw construction vehicles driving around and knocking down trees, much to their displeasure, especially Sal, Naruto and Dave. "They've got to be fools to destroy something so wonderful," said Sal sadly at the sight of such destruction. "Yeah, even my old home harmonizes purposely with nature. There's a reason why it's called the village hidden in the leaves," said Naruto angrily. Dave looks at all this with a blank expression. "They won't be doing this for much longer, I'll make sure of that. I hope that they don't go overboard with this, there's so many wonderful things here," said Sakura worriedly. "Maybe I should talk to my daddy about this," said Yai. Sal glances at Dave with concern, seeing his expression worried her quite a bit. "I hope I'm just being paranoid, but Dave's expression and those words he said makes me worry for some reason." Sometime later, they were back at the campsite and having a chat amongst themselves about various things. Naruto was also chatting with Sakura and BB about some things. "So, who are these other alter egos I've yet to meet?" asked Naruto curiously. "Oh, there are several others besides Passionlip, Kazuradrop and I, just that they're waiting for the right time to meet you," BB explains to him. Naruto quirks an eyebrow at this, then shrugs his shoulders. "Okay. Guess I'll just have to wait until then." "Don't worry, I'm sure they'll come to like you too," said Sakura assuredly. "We also need to make sure that whatever that Grail has left on you has no negative effects." Boom. Suddenly, the place began shaking, much to the alarm of everyone, which sent many into a panic. "What's going on?" asked Dex, wanting to know what exactly caused the ground to quake like that. "That's what we want to know," said Yai. "Melu, were there any e-news bulletins?" asked Lon urgently. Melu was looking at her pet and shook her head in response. "It's no good, we're out of range here." "Lon, that explosion sounded like it came from the Okuden Dam," said Megaman worriedly. BB frowned at that. "I hope that's not the case, because if so, the destruction of the dam would result in the water coming this way and drowning everyone." "Then we need to get out of here," said Tori urgently. Wait, Miss Sal isn't here, said Alice worriedly. She must have gone to look for Dave, said Meilu. Naruto spoke up, in that case, Lan's pet started to beep. It's an email, Lon. The sender is, Black Rose. Megaman was surprised to see who the sender is. Black Rose, she's a net agent who fights net crimes alongside Commander Beef, said Dex. What does the message say? Asked Naruto urgently. According to the email, Black Rose came here on suspicion of Grave trying something and discovered that they're trying to blow up the dam with a time bomb that she's trying to disarm, said Lon. A bomb. These Grave guys are worse than WWW. Dex exclaimed in shock. Wait, there's more. There are several remote detonator receptors in the bombs. She needs us to find the detonators and delete their explosion programs. She requesting for us to locate these detonators and disable them, but we should be careful since they might be cleverly hidden to appear as something else. I think I got the gist of things. Find the detonators and disable them. Let's split up and find as many as we can, said Naruto with seriousness. Then Yae, Sakura, and I will check around the campsite, said Meilu before running off with the other two girls. Dex and I will take a look around the dirt path. Lon and Dex left the campsite to check out the surrounding area. Naruto turns to Alice, I'll need you and Shiori to stay here with Sakura-chan and the others while I go and take a look in the forest. Alice nods in affirmation, okay, but please be careful. I will. Naruto turned around and quickly darted into the forest at blurring speeds with Alice and Shiori looking on, hoping that he and the others succeed. Meilu, Yae, and Sakura quickly look around for anything that could give a hint at where the detonators could be when Yae noticed something off and called out to the others. Hey, look over there. Yae pointed for Meilu and Sakura to see what appears to be someone's pet lying on the ground close to the river. What's a pet doing here? Asked Sakura confusedly. Maybe someone dropped it in a panic due to the sound of the explosion, said Meilu. Yae frowned in response, you might be right, but something about it feels off. You think that it might be a detonator disguised as a pet? Sakura hummed thoughtfully, Black Rose did say that the detonators might be cleverly hidden, so we can't rule out such a possibility. Then let's jack in just to make sure, said Meilu. Then I'll do it. Sakura stepped for with her pet's cable extended, jack in BB, power up, she plugged into the pet. Inside the pet comp. BB soon found herself warped into the pet's comp and looked around only to be mildly surprised to see that it's not a regular comp at all. Looks like Yae's suspicions were spot on, it's really the detonator disguised to look like a pet, said BB. I knew it, my hunch was right. Said Yae proudly. Alright then, you need to locate the explosion program and delete it, said Meilu urgently. BB nods in affirmation, leave it to me. She proceeds to advance along the cyber pathways, but there were issues as sometimes a particular pathway would self-destruct itself to obstruct her, forcing BB to take an alternate route. As if that wasn't enough, there were also meteor, spiky and handy viruses that would appear and attack her, but BB and Sakura were able to work together effectively to delete them before resuming their traversal. Soon enough, BB comes upon a large round monitor and goes to examine it. This must be where the detonation program is to be sent to the bomb in order to explode. Now to delete the program, BB swiftly interfaced with the program and soon deleted, I've done it, the detonator will no longer send the program. Well done, BB. Let's jack you out so we can search for the remaining detonators, said Sakura. Okay Sakura, said BB before finding herself being recalled to the pet from the detonator comp. In the real world, Lon and Dex POV. Lon and Dex search around the area for any of the detonators when the latter found something odd nearby and called the former over to see. Hey Lon, come over and check this out, said Dex. Lon quickly ran to him, what is it, Dex? Look, Dex held up a thermos flask for Lon to see. It's a flask, so what's the big deal? Since when do thermos flasks need these? Dex rotates the flask to reveal a jack-in with a blinking LED light next to it. Megaman, could this be one of the detonators? Asked Lon. It's quite possible, given that it's made to look like something that no one would give a second thought about unless they know what they're looking for, said Megaman. Then let's take a closer look. Lon brings out his pet with the cable extended. Jack in Megaman, power up. He inserts the cable into the slot to transfer Megaman inside the comp. Inside the thermos flask comp. Upon entering the comp, Megaman surveys the cyberspace with a small frown on his face. It's like we suspected, Lon. The flask really is a remote detonator in disguise. Alright, all you need to do now is to find the program and deactivate it, Lon instructed. On my way. Megaman starts running along the cyber pathways in search of the program, but like the previous comp, the pathways would suddenly explode, which forces him to backtrack and take different route, and all the while busting viruses that would pop up to attack him. But Megaman had faced far worse compared to such common enemies. Soon enough, Megaman comes across the detonation program that they were looking for. He made to approach but was then attacked by a pack of spiky viruses, much to his annoyance. The spiky viruses began launching a barrage of fireballs, which Megaman took evasive action with consecutive somersaults and leaps before arming himself with the Megabuster and returning fire to blast them back before finishing up with a powerful charge shot. Now that's out of the way, Megaman ran up to the program and quickly deleted it. Lon, the program has been dealt with. Good job, Megaman. I'm jacking you out now so we can find more of these hidden detonators, said Lon. Alright, jacking out now. Megaman proceeds to transfer himself back into Lan's pet to continue their search for the detonators. In the real world Naruto POV. Naruto was leaping through the trees in the forest as he keeps a sharp eye out for the detonators and hoping to find them before the bombs destroy the dam and flood the entire Okuden Valley. TCH, these grave jerks are crazy to want to destroy this place. Then again, they were willing to harm Yae and nearly destroyed Net City if we hadn't stopped them in time, Naruto mutters to himself as he leaps through the trees. Stay focused, brat. We can't afford to lose focus. This is easily comparable to those AS-ranked missions that you went on back in our world, said Kurama sternly. Tell me about it, but you're right though. Naruto was snapped out of his thoughts by the sound of rushing water and looked around to notice that he had landed near a small waterfall. He looked at the waterfall for a moment, then started to consider something. You don't suppose? Naruto approaches the waterfall and looks around before noticing some sort of pathway which goes behind the waterfall. Due to the darkness, Naruto uses the light from the screen of his pet as a makeshift flashlight to look around and comes across a rather odd place for a working pet to be lying around. I don't think I need to tell you what this implies, said Kurama. Yup, and that's why I'm gonna take a closer look at it. Naruto extends the plug-in cable from his pet after transferring himself into it while the clone takes control of the holobody, jacking in and powering up. He transfers himself into the pet. Inside the pet comp. A quick look around confirms Naruto's suspicions. It's like we thought. Why else would there be a pet lying behind a waterfall of all places? You can pat yourself in the back later. You need to search for this supposed program and get rid of it, said Kurama, reminding his host of their objective. Already on it. Naruto took off and soon found himself being obstructed by what the others have already come across, but he was able to deal with them accordingly thanks to his ninja training and battle experience. Also, the usage of his shadow clones cut the time needed to locate the program by a large amount, as he soon found it and dealt with the detonator program. Alright, the detonator is no longer transmitting, said Naruto, feeling a bit relieved. At that moment, several holoscreens appear around him which display Lon and the others. Hey guys, I was able to find a detonator and put a stop to it, Naruto reported to the others. Lon nods in response. Same here, we were also able to find some and stop them too. Grave isn't playing around, that's for sure, said Tori. But it should be fine, right? I'm sure that Black Rose has resolved the bomb problem in the dam by now, said Meilu assuredly. Suddenly, they all received emails and apparently was sent from Black Rose, but the information wasn't what they expected at all. This is bad. Since the bombs are now disarmed, the Grave agent is now attacking the mainframe to make the dam collapse instead, said Sakura worriedly. It seems that Black Rose and her NetNavi is getting ganged up on by several NetNavis, said Yae. Then we need to get over to the dam and help, said Lon urgently. In that case, I'll meet you all there, said Naruto before ending the transmission. I'm counting on you to get us there quickly. Leave it to me, boss, said Naruto before he proceeded to leap across the trees in the direction of the dam as quickly as he could. Inside the cyberspace of the Okuden Dam mainframe. Woodman, the NetNavi of Black Rose aka Sal, grits his teeth in pain and frustration. He had jacked in earlier to prevent the NetNavi of Grail from causing the dam from flooding the valley after successfully disarming the bombs, but they failed to take into account that there could have been more than one as they stood before him. The first one is a tall humanoid male NetNavi who seemingly wears a black suit, a red torso with a yellow collar around the neck, and a red helmet with a large golden boomerang on his forehead, red armor with yellow blades on the forearms and red boots with golden decorative on the front. His name is Quick Man. The second is also a male NetNavi with a slender body. He has a red head with a pair of scissor blade on top, 2 gray handles at both sides, a gray ring on his neck. His body is red with white area on top and also a large yellow C on the front, a gray line on each of his arms and legs, and red feet with a gray tip and gray lining under each of them. His name is Cutman. You know, for a supposed NetNavi of the mighty Net agents, you're definitely not living up to the hype, Quick Man taunted smugly. Tell me about it. I'm starting to think that what happened over at Net City is nothing more than a fluke, said Cutman, mildly annoyed at the thought of it. Woodman, don't give up. We need to stop them at all costs, said Sal anxiously. Woodman grits his teeth as he struggles to get back on his feet. I cannot let you flood the dam and put innocent lives in danger. Quick Man scoffs in response, you may talk a big game but you're no pro player, time to put you out of your misery. Allow me, I've a bit of venting to do. Cutman steps forward with a sneer, this is the end for you, Cut Boomerang. He detaches the scissors from his head and launches at Woodman while spinning like a buzzsaw. Sal watches in horror at the apparent deletion of her NetNavi when suddenly. Clang! Something flew through the air and intercepted the scissors, knocking it away from Woodman and sent flying back to Cutman. Everyone looked to see a windmill shuriken on the floor as someone landed in front of Woodman while revealing himself to them. Woodman recognizes who the NetNavi is. Maelstrom? Asked Sal in shock. Said person smiles in response, my knee-top jacked me in to go on ahead to help ya, and it's a good thing that he did since I was able to make it in time. Backup will arrive shortly so you might need to jack out. I can still help, Woodman insisted. Naruto shakes his head in disagreement, not in your current condition, you need to get out of here or they might target you as a hostage. Alright then, just hold them out until the others arrive, said Sal. Then Woodman was jacked out from the cyberspace. Facing us all by yourself? I don't know whether you're being gutsy or plain suicidal, Quick Man commented skeptically. Naruto brings out both the chakra blade and vorpal blade as he takes a fighting stance. Why don't you come a little closer and find out? Then you've got no one to blame but yourself after we snip you to ribbons for challenging Grave, Cutman declares arrogantly. The cyber ninja scowls in annoyance. Are you gonna talk or fight? We don't have all day. Suit yourself. Naruto's instincts barely saved him in time as he darted to the side right before Quick Man had suddenly dashed past while swiping at where he stood with one of the arm blades, but then he instantly turned around and was upon him again, but Naruto managed to block with his vorpal blade before swiftly moving away with a backflip to build some distance between them. So, he's a speedster. Then again he's called Quick Man for a good reason, and he's not the only one I need to focus on, thought Naruto with a small frown. Cut Boomerang. At that moment, Cutman launches the scissors from his head towards Naruto, who leaps into the air to evade, but then Quick Man lunges at him to attack and successfully lands a hit only for the ninja to burst into smoke and reveal a doll version of himself. What the? Quick Man looks around in confusion. Surprise. Naruto appears behind the NetNavi and sends him flying with a roundhouse kick to the ground. Chakra blade boomerang. He throws his chakra blade towards Cutman, who scrambles out of the way to avoid getting hit before flying back into his hand. What's the point of all this? What do you hope to benefit from blowing up the dam? Naruto demanded an explanation while also biding time for his clone and the others to find their way into the dam as soon as possible. It is to teach humanity about the consequences of their selfish actions. A familiar voice spoke up in response to the question. That voice, it can't be. Naruto was hoping that it wasn't that person. At that moment, a screen appeared behind Quickman and Cutman to reveal none other than Dave, you're a member of Grave. But why? Dave frowns in response. These woods are the last place on Earth for extremely rare plants and creatures. Insanely large projects like this hydroelectric dam chase the animals further away from their homes while also destroying plants that would have proven highly beneficial to the same humans responsible for their extinction. Naruto frowns thoughtfully at Dave's words, seeing the truth in them since he and the others saw how the construction crew were destroying part of the forest in order to make room for their project, which saddened him greatly. And now, those very same people are planning to make an even bigger dam while ignorant of the consequences of their actions. Since they won't stop until nothing is left, then someone would have to make them stop, and that someone is me. And you thought that the best support you could get is from Grave? Sal asks, feeling sad that her childhood is doing such a thing. Grave sees humanity for the selfish people that they are and seeks to curb such tendencies, and I support them for that. Dave responds. Are you so blind as to not see what you're doing right now? Asked Naruto angrily. You claim to want to stop the destruction of the forest, and yet here you are about to destroy the dam and make it flood the very forest you speak of protecting, all the while potentially killing innocents, animals and plants. This makes you nothing more than a hypocrite. Dave frowns at such an accusation. You wouldn't be able to understand what I feel, none of you do. Quickman and Cutman, delete that NetNavi and continue with the collapse of the dam. Will do. Quickman prepares to attack. Consider him snipped to bits. Cutman got ready to assist in attacking the cyber ninja. Naruto senses something and smiles as he speaks, then it's a good thing that I'm not fighting alone. Mega Buster, several energy blasts struck at the feet of the enemy Net Novice, forcing them to move back as someone landed next to Naruto, revealing to be Mega Man. Hey there, hope I'm not too late to the party. Naruto smirks in response, not at all, you're just in time. It's thanks to Sakura and BB, they were able to hack the doors to unlock them so we could get here quickly. Lon explains as he and Naruto were able to get inside and plug into the main system of the dam with help from the aforementioned girls. Mega Man whispers to Naruto, Sakura has secretly jacked in Kazuradrop to have her restore the system, we just need to keep their attention on us. Shouldn't be a problem, we're too hard to ignore, said Naruto with a smirk. Ha, that's true. Alright guys, let's get them, said Naruto confidently. Rolling cutter. Cutman summons several floating scissors which he then remotely controls them to fly towards Naruto and Mega Man to attack them. I got this. Naruto rushes forward and deflects the incoming projectiles with the chakra blade and vorpal sword away from himself and Mega Man. However, the floating scissors realign themselves in midair before attacking the duo once more. Guess these ones will be problematic. And there's more to add to our problems. Mega Man was using his Mega Buster to fire at Quickman is proving to possess the speed to actually deflect the incoming projectiles. This guy's pretty fast. We'll see about that. Blaster, battle chip in and download. Lon swiftly slots in a battle chip into his pet, enabling Mega Man to launch a massive barrage of energy bullets towards Quickman. However, Quickman was rapidly darting from side to side to evade the energy bullets without so much as one of them even grazing him. The NetNavi sneers at them, I doubt you can even touch me. With what happened earlier, I beg to differ, Naruto retorted, annoying Quickman as he continues to fend off the floating scissors with his chakra blade and vorpal sword. Surprise snip. Cutman suddenly appears from his blind spot and lowers his head to attack with his scissors. Naruto barely evaded the attack by channeling chakra to his feet and dashing out of the way to avoid a potentially lethal attack. That was a close call. Naruto frowns at his current opponent. I see his strategy now. He preoccupies you with those flying scissors of his, then tries to attack you while you're not paying close attention to him and his ally, said Kurama. If that's the case, Naruto crosses the middle and index fingers of both hands together. Let's see how they deal with a large number of targets. Shadow Clone Jutsu. he proceeds to create over 3 dozens of shadow clones with half of them handling the flying scissors while the other half go to aid Megaman against Quickman, much to the shock of the opposing net novice. What the heck? Quickman was in disbelief at what he's seeing. Cutman was just as shocked. This guy can create clones too. But I thought only he can do that. Naruto quirked an eyebrow at their comment. I don't know who this guy you're talking, but he'll be a problem to be dealt with later on since you have our attention right now. Grr, we'll see about that. Cutman remotely controls the flying scissors to target the one he believes to be the original. I've got an idea, try using this. See, Naruto brings out a battle chip rock hammer. Jutsu battle chip in, download. See, Naruto slotted in the battle chip. Naruto forms a hand sign as a giant hammer made out of solid rock appears, which he then grabs with both hands and swings at the incoming scissors, easily bending them out of shape upon impact. My scissors! Cutman exclaims in shock at what just happened. Well, what do you know? Rock really does beat scissors, Naruto commented, and another thing. Wadash, Cutman was about to respond when something pierced through his back then out of his chest, revealing that a clone snuck up from behind to attack with his chakra blade. Always watch your back when fighting a ninja, kinda obvious really. The cyber ninja finishes his sentence as Cutman is deleted and disperses into bits of data. Impossible, Cutman has been deleted. Dave was shocked, then he notices something else. The pressure is returning to normal. Quick man, you need to stop them. Quick boomerang, battle chip in, and download. He slots in a chip into his pet, which conjures several large yellow boomerangs that start flying all around the cyberspace, taking out many of the shadow clones while forcing Naruto and Megaman to take evasive action. Now to deal with that nosy cyber mouse, Quickman darts over to the system core and finds Kazuradrop restoring the system as fast as she could. There you are, now to get rid of you. Oh no, barrier, battle chip in, and download. Sakura barely slots in a battle chip into her pet to create an energy shield to protect Kazuradrop when Quickman attacks with his arm blade, since this alter ego isn't meant for combat unlike the others. You can't keep that barrier up for long. Quickman continues to slash at the barrier with the blades, only to suddenly find himself being restrained by Naruto, who used an area steel battle chip to teleport over and grab him. That wasn't the only reason. Now's your chance. Naruto calls out to Megaman. And we won't waste it. Megaman, I'm activating a style change, Heat Gut style. Lon quickly inputted the commands for Megaman to undergo the transformation into the aforementioned style change. Here I come. Megaman rushes towards them with his large fist reared back for a punch. Quick man, you gotta get out of there. Dave exclaims desperately. Can't, break free. Quickman struggles to escape, but Naruto remains firm with his restraint. You're not going anywhere, buddy, said Naruto defiantly. Take this. Megaman attacks with a powerful uppercut right as Naruto switches places with one of his shadow clones, as Quickman is then launched high into the air, inflicting no small amount of damage on him. Time to end this. Giant Fireball, Jutsu battle chip in, download. See, Naruto inserted the battle chip to supply the cyber ninja with the needed jutsu. Naruto took in a deep breath as the faceplate opened up before he breathed out a giant ball of fire which flew through the air and engulfs Quickman in the flames, leaving nothing left of him afterwards. And that's that. Megaman declares their victory, even more so when the system announces that everything has been restored to stable levels thanks to Kazuradrop. Dave was in shock. He couldn't believe that everything he's done to get to this point is going up in flames, all because of his own childhood friend and those kids. This can't be happening, I can't let it end like this. He turned to escape only to suddenly be tackled from behind to the ground and had his arms pinned to his back. As a member of the Net agents, I am putting you under arrest for attempted destruction of government property and threatening of innocent civilians, said Sal with a heavy heart. She had sought him out earlier while he was busy battling Naruto and the others. I'm sorry it has come to this, Dave. Dave scoffed, don't be sorry, you're just doing your job after all. You're right, which is why I'm going to make sure that you don't go further down this path and destroy the dream I admired. The next morning, Dave was taken away by the police to be interrogated about the grave organization. On the other hand, Lon and the others are at the bus stop, waiting for the bus to show up and take them back to their homes. Lon glanced to the side to see Sal looking downcast, no doubt having a good idea as to the reason why. "Sal, I'm really sorry about Dave. He was a really cool guy." Sal smiled sadly in response, "Thanks Lon, it's just that I understand where he's coming from, but I never would have thought that he would go this far." Naruto spoke up, "I get that he wants to protect nature and I fully support it, but it's just that he should have gone about it the right way, which wouldn't have involved hurting anyone." "Naruto's right, I'm sure that there are like-minded people like him who could have helped," said Meilu. "Too bad Grave used his love for nature to control him," said Tori. "I'll never stop saying it, those Grave guys are way worse than WWW, said Dex with a small frown. "Then how about signing up for some of those nature protection groups? That could help," Megaman suggested. "That's a great idea, it may not be much but every little bit counts to help preserve nature," said Lon. "Just a call and I should be able to fund some of these groups," Yai confidently declares. Saying how they're willing to help with nature's preservation, Sal smiled, "In a way, you helped these kids open their eyes and support your dream willfully. I can only hope that you will change back to the Dave I knew before." As they waited, Sakura noticed that Naruto kept massaging his left hand as if it's in pain. "Naruto-kun, are you okay?" Naruto turned to her, "Yeah, I'm fine." "Why do you ask?" "It's just that I noticed you kept massaging your left hand and wanted to know what's bothering you." "Nothing serious, just that my hand would starting aching every now and then, I'm sure it's no big deal." "No need to worry about it," said Naruto, assuring her that everything's fine with him. "Oh okay." But Sakura was anything but assured, in fact she's even more worried because of the potential implications. She would have to discuss things with BB and the others in the hopes that they could somehow suppress this potential situation before it becomes something beyond their control. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more crossovers. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video, till then goodbye.